talkSPORT Sports Update with NordVPN. Encrypt your internet connection and protect your devices from malware and hackers with our most advanced VPN.
10 o'clock, good morning. Here are your sports headlines. Chelsea have completed the signing of Rayo Vallecano left-back Pep Chavarria for £17 million. How would this affect a possible Miles Lewis-Skelly move? Carlton Cole, former Chelsea striker, says it would make no sense for Arsenal to let him go now.
I don't see the value of letting someone so young, that could be so established, gone on to play for England already, done a good job for England, by the way. If he would have played more, he'd have definitely gone to the World Cup. I just look at it, I think it's a bit baffling.
It's understood the player would rather stay, despite Arsenal being open to selling for the right price. Meanwhile, PSG boss Luis Enrique's had his say on the possibility of Bradley Barcola moving to Liverpool.
I don't want to speak about any player individually because always dangerous when you are asking something positive or negative about a player, and I stay focused on my team.
He could do with a strepsil before his side face Aston Villa in tonight's Super Cup. Live on talkSPORT. Our coverage begins at 7 p.m. Meanwhile, Newcastle boss Matthias Jaissler says he's a bit scared of what referees will make of his touchline energy in the Premier League.
On the touchline, I'm emotional, but I need to respect a bit more the box where I'm into. I'm a bit scared. I need to learn that.
And Brennan Johnson has reminded Gabby and O'Hara he's won more than both of them put together after his swap deal with McNeil was branded crap for crap by O'Hara. Gabby's now apologised and called for O'Hara to do the same.
Yeah, we win the Player of the Month. No, we didn't. Listen, I've already apologised. I should have stopped O'Hara because when you get going, you can be quite disrespectful. But Jamie's on at 4 o'clock, and I think he needs to have the biggest apology. You can't say like crap for crap.
Really?
That's not on Al.
Stuart Broad also weighed in on Brennan Johnson's behalf. Jamie, meanwhile, says he only meant that Johnson had a crap season and that he's been taken out of context. There's more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
The Prime Minister is chairing an emergency Cobra meeting on the extreme heat and drought, and another 13 migrant hotels are closing. Emma has more in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. This summer, treat yourself to Bridgestone Turanza All-Season 6 tyres with a 25,000 mileage guarantee. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
Cloudy with outbreaks of rain in the northwest. Elsewhere, largely dry and sunny. Warm in Scotland and Northern Ireland. Very hot in England and Wales.
Good morning. How are you this Wednesday? You're listening to White and Jordan. They're on holiday, so it's crap for crap. They've taken a break, and it's Shebahn Aherne alongside Manchester United former keeper Ben Foster.
Who's the crap one? Who are you talking about, Shebahn? Name.
It's definitely you. I'm absolutely fine, Ben. We've got a great show lined up for you this morning. Coming up, Miles Lewis-Skelly has been offered to Manchester United and Chelsea, but neither of them want him. Would it be a travesty if he was to leave Arsenal? We'll get your thoughts and Ben Foster's thoughts on that. We'll be asking whether Manchester United have what it takes to win the league this season. And in the meantime, do young footballers need more support? Brennan Johnson's had a pop at Gabby Agbonlahor and Jamie O'Hara online. He's firing back at them after they made fun of him yesterday. And Ben Foster will pick his top 10 biggest clubs in the UK. Plus, we'll be joined by a solar eclipse expert ahead of the first solar eclipse in 27 years tonight. And then at some point, we'll have to do a duet on Turn Around every now and then. Stick around for that. All coming up for you with Aherne and Foster on talkSPORT. Good morning.
100% engagement.
Jim White and Simon Jordan on talkSPORT.
Do you know what? It's different coming in here at 10 o'clock, Ben. It's a different world.
It's taken me longer to get in this morning than what it did on the morning show. I think it's because there's no traffic, but my aircon's busted in my car, so I've just spent 3 hours driving down here just sweating.
Hot and bothered.
Yeah, hot and bothered. Thankfully, I brought a spare T-shirt though, so I'm feeling good to go.
You
now.
brought a spare T-shirt?
I've got to though. Like I said, it's so hot in the car. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. It's 25 degrees already.
I just don't expect a former footballer to not have a car with aircon that
I know,
works.
yeah. It's my own fault. It's been bust for 3 months, to be fair. It's sloppy. You need to fire back on social media as well. A bit like Brennan Johnson. I listening to the boys earlier. They were taking the mick out of your outfit. You look $1 million, by the way.
Thank you, Ben.
Don't listen to anything they've said, all right?
That's what I'm saying. You come in here at whatever time in the morning and you'll just get abused for
Absolute pelters.
And they always go from outfits. And then I look at these two and I'm like,
the state of them.
like they're Gokwan.
You got Gabby walking out.
State of them.
Big sweaty forehead. He's got his horrible glasses on so he can see the eclipse later on. I don't know where they're coming from.
And then Colonel Mustard in his bright yellow shirt. I mean, I've missed Alan, don't get me wrong, but I've not missed that T-shirt.
He's looking, to be fair to him, I'll give him his dues. He's looking well, isn't he? He's looking very well.
He needs a bit of a glow up now. Maybe a new brand.
What brands would he fit though? You know, I think at his age, you get to that age where you don't really care anymore, do you? But you just want comfort. I look at me today. I've got my shorts and my T-shirt on. I'm comfy. That's all that matters.
Yeah, but let's state the obvious here, Ben. Al needs a bit more. Well, firstly, we need to just soak him in at the waist because his stuff fits him better now.
Jesus. Just
fit up those shirts a little bit more, just a little.
I don't think you're changing him, Shebahn.
I think he'd like it.
It's too late.
The other day I gave him SPF and he was all, "Oh, what's this? What's this?" He does chuck it, but I know he loves it at the end of the day. Don't forget, you can come and watch us in the studio this morning. You can make fun of the outfit that I'm wearing, which apparently looks like I've just done the walk of shame. Yep.
That's what I mean. You need to fire yourself back on Instagram or Twitter or something later on and just fire. No, don't take that, right? Don't take it.
I mean, especially from Gabby. Shabby. I mean, seriously, he acts like he's a 10 out of 10. I'm like, you're just not. Footballers, eh?
Footballers.
Let's get into the top story going around today then. It's made the back pages this morning, Ben, that Chelsea and Manchester United both reject the chance to sign Miles Lewis-Skelly. What did you make of this news when you first heard it?
First of all, I don't know if it's actual news, right? I can't believe that it's actual news. It seems to me like somebody somewhere is trying to be a little bit mischievous, whether it's an agent or there's like a new contract maybe in the offerings or something like that. But I'm not having this as an actual thing. I'm really not. Sometimes it's kind of no smoke without fire. That might be a case. Or then other times it's just a mischievous story that's somehow been planted somewhere. The only thing I would say, an alternative look at it, is if it is an actual news story and there is sort of legs in it, then there has to be something, not a problem, but there'll be something that Arteta or Arsenal have identified that maybe they're not quite happy with.
With Miles Lewis-Skelly.
With Miles Lewis-Skelly. And I'm not talking about his personality, because by all accounts, he's an absolutely fantastic lad. There's a couple of times I've seen, my son's an Arsenal fan, so we go to watch Arsenal, I don't know, 5 or 6 times a year maybe. Always watch him on the telly. And Miles Lewis-Skelly is a fantastic player. He's absolutely incredible. For 19 years old, for what he's done so far, there was a guy saying that he's a possible Ballon d'Or future winner. I wouldn't get that carried away, but he's a fantastic player. There's been a few times, though, where I think you can identify that Miles Lewis-Skelly has come up through an academy playing an Arsenal way. And not only that, an academy where he has been miles ahead of everybody else. Genuinely just miles better, stronger, quicker, faster than everybody else. And there's been a few occasions where he's been caught on the ball, where in an academy, you get that time, you can hold people off, you're stronger, you know what's going on. And he's trying to do it in the Premier League, and they'll shut you down. If they know you're 19 years old and you're going to try and linger on the ball a little bit, they will shut you down. And he's been caught in possession a couple of times. If you think back to the 2 red cards that he's had so far in his career at Arsenal, it was from little tiny mistakes where he's just been caught lingering on the ball a little bit too much. And I think that's maybe a reason why he's been brought into midfield as well by Arteta.
Which we had seen then towards the end of last season as players started to tire and more games came in. But they are pretty stacked at left back already. But do you let a talent like him go to potentially a rival?
No chance. Absolutely no chance. Not even take away the fact that it's a rival, or you could sell him for. He's 19 years old. He's got a massive future ahead of him. But what he's done already in his career, playing in a Champions League final, you don't play 19-year-olds in a Champions League final unless you trust them.
The real deal.
You're the real deal if you can be trusted at 19 years old. You really are.
So what is it then? What do you think maybe potentially Arteta's identified, if there's any truth to this?
If there's any truth, and again, I don't believe there is any truth in this, by the way. Maybe it might be just that defensive side of it, that bit where you will ask certain players to do a job for you, and if they keep letting you down on one element of it, whether it's getting caught on the ball too long, lingering on the ball too much. In the Champions League final, he was absolutely fantastic, but you can see that he's not quite got that expanse of a real central midfielder, and I'm not sure even if that's going to be his realistic position that he's going to want to play himself.
Okay, the links then say to Manchester United. Do you like the sound of that?
I don't see it. I don't think even at Manchester United there's going to be necessarily a place for him. Obviously, Luke Shaw, there's a lot of talk about him at left back. You know, he's getting a little bit older now, and I know he played a lot of football last season, but I still think he's got another year or two left in him probably. So I think if he's going to sign for someone like Man United, he would be filling in at left back. Man United fans would absolutely love him. They love a youngster. They love an aggressive youngster that likes to get on the ball. It would fit in well there, but it's not happening. It's as simple as that. It's not. Arsenal fans would never forgive Mikel Arteta if they got rid of one of their own.
We've seen madness like this happen though in the past. Like, it does happen, and like you say about maybe identifying or seeing something that maybe doesn't quite fit.
Yeah.
You know, even things like when he did the Haaland celebration and all, and I think do some people look at that and go, there's a personality thing?
Nah, I'm not having it.
None of that?
I love that. I think everybody at Arsenal absolutely love that. All the Arsenal fans absolutely love it. And even Haaland probably saw that and thought, oh, nice, I like that. You've got to have
humble, huh?
A little bit of arrogance, just a little bit of arrogance. And I think even Haaland, even though he comes out and says, stay humble, I think even he would have been thinking, you know what, that's not too bad.
Yeah, showed a bit of character.
Yeah, a bit of character.
Like to see it. talkSPORT understands Arsenal value Miles Lewis-Skelly at £45 million, but that could be too high, with both Chelsea and Man United rejecting the chance to sign him. Rory Jennings joined Jamie O'Hara on Drive yesterday and insisted Arsenal should not sell the youngster.
I don't know if this is going to happen, but if Arsenal are even genuinely contemplating this is terrible. Like, you know when I was young, you look at the career that Andy Cole had. Andy Cole scored 42 goals at Newcastle, won a treble at Man United, was an unbelievable, arguably the most underrated Premier League player, certainly centre forward of all time. Arsenal let him go. I know there were circumstances and whatever else, but he was on Arsenal's books, and it was a mistake to let him go. Obviously, it was a mistake.
Yeah.
This could be that. Like, you can't. I want Arsenal to let him go, so I don't even really like saying this out loud. But it would be one of the most self-damaging manoeuvres from Arsenal, from Arsenal's ownership, from Arteta, to let a player of this quality go. You've nurtured him. You've brought him through. He's Hale End. Do you remember when he played Tottenham? Oh, Jamie, do you remember when he played against Tottenham? It would have been about probably 18 months ago, like January of the year before. Arsenal beat Tottenham 2-1. Trossard scored. When he was coming off, he was like a geezer at the clock end. He was laughing at Richarlison. He was laughing at Brennan Johnson. He's got that edge.
The thoughts of Rory Jennings there. It's right, though. You hang on at those players. You value them.
Yeah, do you know what? I very rarely agree with Rory Jennings, to be fair. Now, actually, some of the things he says, he's bob on now. I think he's bob on with this one as well. I think some players, regardless of their value, their worth, it's their worth to the football team. And take away the money side of it, it's their worth of what they mean behind the scenes, to have one of them homegrown players, somebody that all those Arsenal fans will look to, and he's one of ours. He bleeds red. Like Roy was saying there after the Tottenham game, proper meant a lot to him. And you haven't got many players in teams that are like that anymore, that have come all the way through the academy. They're the ones that you really need to hang on, because they're worth so much to the fan base.
And that's the thing, Ben, as well. And we'll discuss this later on the show. When they're that young as well, sometimes they don't show the person that they can be themselves, because they're so feared for being criticised or, you know, picked on or showing their true colours, whatever like that. Whereas I think when you see a player like that, it is nice to value it.
I just think if you can trust a 19-year-old to play in a Champions League final against PSG and be confident and comfortable to get on the ball and drive past people and get your head up, you've got to keep older players like that.
With the young talent at the club such as Max Dowman and Ethan Nwaneri, Arsenal spending could mean they need to sell more younger talent in order to balance the books.
Yeah, it will be that sort of financial fair play element, wasn't it?
You wonder if it could affect the academy long term as well. Arsenal fans, if you want to have your say, 03717 22 3344. Would you be gutted to see Miles Lewis-Skelly leave to go to the likes of Chelsea or Manchester United? You know that he would strengthen them. You can have your say on that. And how much do you think he's worth? 03717 22 3344. Good morning, it's talkSPORT.
No. Because, do you know what I'm not buying, Gabby? I'm not buying this whole, Victor would have been a problem. I don't know if he would have been Vinny would have taken the number 7 shirt, would he?
No,
we don't know.
I don't think that, but like Vinny Jr.'s character, like he's coming to Arsenal, he wants Ballon d'Ors, do you know what I mean? Like,
what's wrong with that?
No, but I'm saying, and also he's coming in on a lot more money than other players. If you're Saka and Rice and Ryan and Gabriel and Saliba, and he's coming in. Triple what you're earning,
massive causes.
Well, if you've won a couple of Champions Leagues, right, and the league is running out your ears, then
as far as the other players are concerned, that doesn't matter.
Why not? Why does that not matter?
They're the players who just won you the Premier League.
But that's the player. But that's the marquee signing. Bruno G cannot be our marquee signing. He can't. We need a statement signing. That's what I would like.
You don't need a statement signing. You don't need any particular signing. You'll win this Premier League without it. And, people will say, strengthen from a position of strength. Well, just ask Liverpool fans what happened when they won the league and they strengthened with people like Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz.
Do you know what my issue is? Is that I do think we're going to win the league this year, and I think we're stronger. But I think of the fact that when you're in these kind of positions, like a Man City were when they first won the league, when they beat United on goal difference, you have to capitalise. You have to know that your future depends on this 2, 3, 4 year period.
Good morning, you're listening to talkSPORT. It's Shebahn Aherne and Ben Foster for White and Jordan today. I think the guys are back next week. Is that right, Dan? Producer Dan. White and Jordan are back next week.
I was just thinking, like this. Normally, this time of day, viewers are tuning in for sort of hard-hitting, sort of opinion on toast.
I know.
And they've got me and you today.
I know. It's just, we just sit back and chill a wee bit more. It's a bit more of a summer feel today.
Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah.
We're going to be talking about the eclipse. You're probably not going to get that with Simon Jordan.
We can get a bit of golf talk in there.
Get a bit of golf. How was your golf?
I played yesterday. So I had a lot of time in New York in the summer, and when you're not playing golf regularly, it really, really impacts you. So I've been playing at sort of 7 and 8. Spent a lot of time working over the last couple of months, and it's gone to pot. Absolute filthy pot as well.
Oh, no.
Having said that, I played with my brother yesterday. 14 holes, absolute rubbish, but then the last 4 holes, on fire. I found something again. I'm back.
See, you're lucky that you didn't give up then on 14.
Oh, no, you never give up.
That's a long way to go before, like, thinking, when will this ever go?
I'm an optimist. So I will always think next hole. That's the beauty of golf. There's always the next hole. Give it another 10 minutes, there's another hole.
Yeah, I've got 9 holes on Monday.
Oh, yes.
And that's my first kind of 9 holes on the course where there's a proper tee time and you're going to be chased.
Oh, is that a genuine concern for you, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. And people seeing how bad it is. Do you know, funnily enough, when I booked my round and he said, "Oh, can I take your name?" And then he said, "As long as you don't bring Jamie O'Hara with you." And I went, "Oh, God." Oh, God. Jamie's pretty good.
Yeah, Jamie's not bad, is he, to be fair, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I'm pretty nervous about it, but my sister-in-law's really good. She's very, very good, so she can help me.
Sodom, right? Even then behind you, Sodom, right? You play your game.
Yeah, just wait, lads.
Yeah, just calm down. Ain't that important?
Get me a drinking. All right. Let's talk about Marcus Rashford and the thoughts that he may return to Manchester United because he's back in training ahead of the pre-season match against Leeds at Croke Park tonight. How many times have we had the conversation about Marcus Rashford? Is it going to work?
Yeah.
Is it not going to work?
I think, do you know what? I think this season is actually a really big season for Marcus Rashford. If there's anybody that knows how to manage or him as a person, it's Michael Carrick. You know, he's played alongside him. He's one of these very modern age managers. And I just think if anybody can get the best out of Marcus Rashford, it has to be Michael Carrick. I can't think of anybody probably in world football that's going to be able to get the best out of Marcus Rashford more than Michael Carrick.
Why
because he knows him better. He's got that personal connection. I don't think just a big name appeals to Marcus Rashford. I think he needs a bit of love. I think he needs a bit of honesty, a bit of an arm around the shoulder. And that's what Michael Carrick will bring. So it sounds great, that, but it does put a lot of pressure on Marcus, because I think if he can be happy and play with a smile on his face, then you can see brilliant things from Marcus Rashford. But if he doesn't do it this season, I think it's a bit of a problem.
I mean, you said there you're an optimistic kind of person. So you want to believe that he can come back again, and he's from the area. He's a Manchester boy. He's come through it all. He's the kind of guy you want as your captain.
Yes.
If it's all to go well for him.
Yes.
But it just hasn't. But is that a stability thing?
I wouldn't. I'd never blame it on a stability thing. I wouldn't. I would always take full accountability for everything that happened in my career. Even, look at myself when I got sold from Manchester United. It didn't work out for me for there. There were probably better players ahead of me, Edwin van der Sar, for example. But I took accountability for it and I learned from it. All the mistakes I made, I learned from them. So I could take them into the next part of my career and hopefully flourish. I think Marcus has to do that for himself as well. There's only so many times you can blame other people or other factors. You have to look inside and say, maybe I just haven't been putting it in. Maybe I have been a little bit soft once I signed that 300 grand a week deal. Because I do think money softens players. I really do. I think money can soften you. But I also think that players get to a certain age where they just think, you know what, I'm kind of bored with all the money and the glamour that all that brings. Should we just knuckle down now and do a bit? And I think Marcus is genuinely at that point now.
But he really has to be. It's like
it has to be, yeah.
The thing is, there's a brilliant player in there. Yeah. A really good player, but it has to be more consistent now.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, we need to see.
He owes that to the fans if he does get another opportunity at Manchester.
He did well at Barcelona last season. He did well at Barcelona. Season before at Villa, didn't really rip up trees or anything like that, but last season did really well. It's a big club, big pressure. I know a lot of people say it's a bit easier than playing in the Premier League. You're playing for the best team, you'll have a lot more possession, you'll have a lot more chances to score and assist. But at Manchester United this year, I just think it's a real big season, not only for him, but for the club as a whole as well.
What is it about Carrick, other than knowing him, that makes you think, he's
a great person.
Confident on the fact that
he's a great person. He lives and breathes football, lives and breathes it, but he's approachable. He's got real good sort of personability, is that the word? Fantastic with people. He's a people person, simple as that. And Marcus Rashford will respect him. I think probably respect him more than any manager. If you could bring any other manager in from around the world, I think Marcus Rashford would look at Michael Carrick and respect him more.
Okay.
But Marcus Rashford definitely needs to up his work rate. Michael Carrick plays quite high tempo and players have to work. They'll have to put it in.
Do you want him? Do you want him back at Manchester United?
100%. I think he has to. You have to give him this season. I think this is why I say I think this year's the make or break season for Marcus Rashford at Manchester United. If this season's a bit of a flop, a bit of a damp squib, then I think it might be the end of Marcus Rashford at Manchester United. But I would be, again, very optimistic that with all those factors that I've talked about, I think this could be a big season for him.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the conversation goes round. I feel sorry for the lads sometimes.
Yeah.
because it can be overkill. It's constant, around him, whatever he's doing. There's people watching him. He can't live a normal life. And then obviously there's been the conversations around the guidance that he's had in the past as well. Yeah. It's him now taking responsibility and going, well, when I cross the white line, I know that
it's
I can.
It's got to be hard.
That's in his hands.
Imagine coming from Manchester United, growing up all the way through the academy. You're a young star. You're in the team. You're your first choice. You're scoring goals for fun. And then the money comes along. And I say this to a lot of people, and people think, oh, it must be a nightmare being on 150, 200, 300 grand a week. But I guarantee you, if you gave that sort of money to any 21-year-old, 20-year-old, 19-year-old, oh my God, it is a recipe for disaster. Honestly, it is. Not only will it, like I said, soften people, it is just asking for trouble. You've got so much spare time to go and spend and do whatever money you want. It's honestly, it'd be horrible. It would.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
We're going to have that conversation a little bit later on in the show. When it comes to Rashford being in the team, you look at the Manchester United attack the season ahead. It could be absolutely frightening, Ben.
Yeah, I still think Youri Tielemans is the signing so far.
What a bit of business that is.
What a bit of business.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've Tottenham spending a lot of money and Arsenal just spent a lot of money. I still think Youri Tielemans is the signing of the summer so far. For 30 odd million quid, whatever it was, he is a ready-made, good to go starting 11 player. And I think if you can spend £30 million on a ready-to-go starter, it is worth every single penny.
Completely agree. With Šeško in there, Cunha and Mbeumo, Rashford, Ahmad, Fernandes, Xerxes, whether what happens with him this window as well. Still 20 days to go. I think he was linked out to Milan, wasn't he, for a while as well? So you look at Manchester United's attack, I'm saying it's one of the best in the league.
I still think
on
they
paper
need that one focal point striker, that one big boy striker. But the problem is where you're going to get it from. Genuinely, where you're going to get it from, and it's going to cost you 100 mil.
Yeah.
It's the way it goes nowadays. It's 100 mil, simple as that.
And that's the thing with Šeško last season. He was always coming off the bench, but he was always having an impact. He's given Carrick a bit more of a headache.
Yeah, you need these players to. I think a lot of players they do take a season or so. They might take 6 months, a year, maybe even 2 years sometimes. But Šeško, he looks like he's got the raw elements of it. It's whether he can sort of polish those raw parts up a little bit more.
Who do you think's the best attack in the Premier League?
When you say attacker, what do you mean attacker? Do you mean sort of
attack? I mean, as in
the whole
for the
thing.
team. Mm-hmm.
Man City's is not bad, to be fair, is it? Man City's isn't bad.
Yeah,
they've just got loads of those. If they've got their full strength attack up there and they're all popping and all firing, it's hard to beat.
Yeah, you're probably right on that. We'll be talking about Brennan Johnson a little bit later on in the show. He's doing the rounds online because Gabby Agbonlahor and Jamie O'Hara had a go at him yesterday on Drive, and he's come back at them on social media.
I love it as well, by the way. I'm so happy he come back as well.
Everyone just needs put in their place now and
right
then.
As well. Brennan Johnson is a lovely lad, right? And he's a hard worker, he's a grafter. And for them two, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, to be giving it him like that, unreal.
Brilliant. We'll do that next on talkSPORT. Don't go anywhere.
Dowman could be like it's like having a new player. Because surely this has to be.
How many players play on this side, by the way?
Yeah.
Tell me how many players are out there on that side where Dowman was playing on the right a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they are just stacked, caked out wide.
Do you back Dowman to have? I mean, I think it was his breakthrough season last season, but he was in and out.
Breakthrough.
Yeah, I know, it's absolutely mad. But do you think that this could be a season where he's regularly starting and making a regular difference?
I think he's a special talent. I think he's at the right club. I think Arteta will. They'll have a lot of games this year, and they've obviously, Champions League as usual. You'll see him more this season than last season. That kid is a star in the making, and he looks like he's made of the right stuff, and he's very exciting every time you watch him. So when you see players like him in Rio at Liverpool, the future's very bright for the English national team, right?
Without a doubt. I think that come January, Arsenal fans might be looking back at the Vinicius Junior story and thinking, we didn't need him because look at what Max Dowman's doing in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I'm not comparing him to Vinicius Junior before people shoot me down. What I'm saying is that in Max Dowman, you have the potential of a world-class talent. And if you continue to nurture him and release the handbrake on the minutes and on the game time, and I know you're protecting him as a young player, but if you do want to play a slightly more attacking, entertaining brand of football, then Max Dowman is the man to hang your hat on because he's something special.
No, I love the look of him, but let's not kill the kid either and put too much on him at 15, 16. But they're stacked. I mean, I know everyone's worried about the left side, Martinelli. Obviously, Trossard's now gone and all those things. But I still look across their forward line and go, Arsenal could win the league again with what they've got.
talkSPORT News.
Good morning. With the latest news headlines, I'm Emma Smith. The Prime Minister's chairing an emergency Cobra meeting over the extreme heat and drought. The UK's fifth heatwave of the year is set to send temperatures soaring to 38 degrees tomorrow. And the Fire Brigades Union is warning Britain faces a national emergency over wildfires. Here's Steve Wright from the union.
This is not a one-off any longer. We are facing more and more wildfires across the UK. We need a national strategy to deal with this, but we also need more firefighters.
The Border Security Minister says the government is targeting smugglers' supply chains and routes to stop channel crossings. Anna Turley says Monday's boat carrying 230 people shows the gangs are getting more desperate. She told us the French were limited in what they can do once a boat is on its course.
The priority is to make sure that we are disrupting the gangs, disrupting the networks. This is where we need to stop it, because once people are in the waters, it's very difficult to manage them without creating further risk to life.
Nigel Farage has said Andy Burnham doesn't have the guts to sort out the issue. 50 police chiefs have called on Andy Burnham to prevent the early release of two of the killers of PC Andrew Harper. In an open letter to the Prime Minister, they asked for every lawful option for keeping them behind bars to be examined. And Sir Rod Stewart has cancelled the rest of his US tour after undergoing heart surgery. The 81-year-old rock legend had already pulled out of 2 gigs last week. Virgin Radio's Chris Evans and our very own Alan Brazil have wished him well.
Get well soon to Sir Rod.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I meant to text him last night. I read about it. I went, oh, no.
Yeah.
He's doing too much.
His team says the procedure went well.
talkSPORT Sports Headlines with Bostik. For high-performance flooring adhesives that won't let you down, pros trust Bostik.
Ferran Torres is on the verge of joining PSG, and Chelsea have a new left-back. Will's back at 11.
Good morning to you. How are you doing today? You're listening to Shebahn Aherne and Ben Foster, in for Jim White and Simon Jordan on talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go. The guys are back for you as normal next week. They had a long old stint out in America. Well-deserved break.
I saw him in America though. I went and did. I think I did an hour or so. Went up to their lovely little studio. It was nice to see the boys.
That was a peach of a studio, wasn't it?
It was a peach of the studio. Yeah. In fairness, though, I'll trump them a little bit because we were doing our podcast out there, and we were in the Spotify studios, which they've got like 10 floors above them. I think they're better floors as well, better studios as well.
Well, we'll feed that back to management.
It was a lovely studio, though. It looked great.
I know it was. It was actually stunning. I didn't get to experience any of the New York.
New York's unreal, honestly. I put on, so we were there for, I was there for about 4.5 weeks in total. I came back and I've put on 6 kilograms in weight.
Oof.
I'm the heaviest I've ever been. It started with 100, it did 100.9 kilo, which is ridiculous. Like my fighting weight when I was playing was about 92. And I was doing exercise. I was out on the bike. I was running. I was doing all sorts. But you just can't get away from it. The food is too good. Beers, Guinness.
And that's the thing. Even if you're to have like a can of Coke, or like
there's more sugar in that.
Far more sugar in it.
Far more. Fanta, right? Fanta out there is the most. It's like a luminous orange. Honestly, we call it liquid gold. Me and the kids call it liquid gold because they have it, and it's like, oh my god, this is different to home. There's so much more sugar.
Tastes great though.
Yeah, it's great.
Tastes great. Then before you know it, you can't fit into anything that you want to put on. Let's talk about the English football pyramid, Ben, because Fulham and Chelsea are live on talkSPORT on Monday the 24th of August, in the same week as the Carabao Cup second round. I mean, how many times do we come into a new season, midway through the season, end of the season, you're talking about fixture congestion, fixtures having to change all the time. So Fulham and Chelsea have been drawn at home in the Carabao Cup. That draw was done earlier on this week. Fulham have Wimbledon. Chelsea will play Luton. And it would mean that they will play in the Premier League on talkSPORT on Monday night. Then they're supposed to play again midweek in the Carabao Cup. But ordinarily, this would mean their ties would be played on Thursday with 72 hours rest. You with me here? So this has had a knock-on effect for the rest of the matches then involved. So 6 EFL matches will now be moved despite being locked in over 2 weeks ago. So it's happened.
Can you explain that again, please?
No.
It's basically we're always going to run into these problems there because they've got so many games now. There's going to be players that have been playing in the World Cup, had long tournaments, will probably have got sort of 10 days, 2 weeks rest maximum. And then that leaves a bit of a knock-on effect for all the other championship teams. So this game's going to be getting rearranged all over the place. One thing I think what it will do, though, is it will probably water down the quality of what those Premier League teams can put out in the Carabao Cup because, like I say, they won't have a full-strength team to pick from anyway because of World Cup commitments and international fixtures. And then they're asked to play a tournament which, quite frankly, for them teams, early on, if you're in the second round, third round, it's not the end of the world if you get knocked out on it.
So how highly do you value the Carabao Cup?
Really highly because I won it twice, and I got a few new contracts off the back of winning the Carabao Cup, so it was quite important to me, to be honest with you. And I think for the smaller clubs to win a Carabao Cup, look what it did for Newcastle a few years ago. You know, they haven't won a trophy for 70 odd years, and then they win the Carabao Cup, and it is the day that they will remember forever. I remember winning it with Manchester United. It was fantastic. It was incredible. But we were straight on the train back to Manchester that day. Right, we've got a Champions League game in the week, okay? It didn't really mean so much. And then 2 years later, fast forward, I won it with Birmingham. And honestly, it was the best day of my footballing career. Genuinely, it beats everything. Playing for England, you know, playing in the Premier League, playing for Manchester United. Winning a major competition like the Carabao Cup with Birmingham City meant not only so much to me and my family, but all of those Birmingham City fans. Now, I live close to Birmingham, and any time that I'm out and about, they'll always say, I remember that day. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was 15 years ago now, and they still remember it because that's what it means to them, smaller teams.
Well, but getting the opportunity to win, I mean, that's the thing about the Premier League. There's not an expectation for some clubs to try and win it.
Yeah.
For a lot of clubs to win it, you know, their expectation on themselves wouldn't be that either.
No.
But to go for a run in a cup, you know, is so important for any team, but more important to the fans.
Yeah, for the fans, that's what it's about. Honestly, right, from my experience playing in the League Cup, the earlier you're in the competition, so second round, for example, for Chelsea and Fulham, if you get through that, you get through the third and fourth round, then all of a sudden you actually look at it and go, do you know what? We're only a couple games away from Wembley here, you know. And that's genuinely how it goes for a lot of teams. I'm not saying they're not trying to win games, but they take their eye off the ball a little bit because they know they've got a more important Premier League fixture on the Saturday, for example. So they'll put a lesser team up, but it's not until they get to they find themselves in those later stages. That's when they go, we're going to have to go for it now here because the fans will not allow us to miss this opportunity.
Yeah, whereas if you go out in the earlier rounds, you go, okay, it's less for us to focus on.
We can focus on the Premier League, focus on the FA Cup when it comes around.
Yeah, you actually having this conversation in the office today where we're looking at the pyramids and the structure of the football pyramids and how all top 5 leagues in England all have different structures, completely different structures. You know, you look at the Premier League, sees the top 4 qualify for the Champions League, and then 5th for Europa, it could be 5 for the Champions League. And then you look at the Championship, the top 2 get promoted, 3rd and 4th go into the playoff semi-finals, 5th to 8th go on a 2-leg playoff quarter-finals, and then the winners get into that the 1-leg playoff competition, then the winners get into the next round. There's a chance that if you finish 8th in the Championship, you can go up.
Basically, what they've done is they've had to look at it and gone, right, how can we get even more games into this season? How can we get more matches to make more money? That's what they've done. So yeah, basically a quarter of the championship have a chance of getting promoted now. So it's a really competitive season as well. You know, realistically, you're probably looking at half the league would be going into that first game on Saturday and going, right, we could genuinely get promoted this year, which is a massive opportunity for us to get promoted. It's that strong of a championship, it really is. I don't know how the new format's going to work. Obviously, you get third and fourth straight into the semi-final, and then the other 4 teams, they will play a one-legged sort of quarter-final, if you like. I don't like change. I like it the way it is. It's always worked. But having said that, you know, I've just watched the World Cup with an expanded team format, and I hated the idea of it beforehand. But then whilst we were in it, I absolutely loved it. I really did.
Do you like the idea of whatever team finishes 8th, 7th or 8th in the championship?
No, it don't sit well with me. It doesn't. It don't. I've gone up through the championship. I did it with Watford. We finished. I think we finished 3rd that season. And we beat Crystal Palace in the semi-final, beat Leeds in the final, and honestly, going up through the championship playoffs, if you can guarantee one way to get promoted, it is via the playoffs. I promise you, it is the most special occasion for the fans as well, honestly. Yeah. When that full-time whistle goes, you're sprinting down to the fans. It's a sea of your coloured team. Oh, it's such an occasion.
You can let us know your thoughts on this, 03717 223344 81089, if you'd rather send us a text message. Let's get into this conversation then of Brennan Johnson, because it's trending online this morning. Gabby Agbonlahor was with Jamie O'Hara yesterday on Drive. They spoke about Crystal Palace and Everton. They've now completed a swap deal involving Dwight McNeil and Brennan Johnson. Brennan Johnson, after a short time at Palace, is now gone to Everton. They were on Drive yesterday, Gabby and Jamie, and they weren't the biggest fans of this swap deal. Have a listen.
Brennan Johnson has been a myth.
Yeah.
For a few seasons, right? Spurs, he didn't do it at Spurs, right? I know he scored, I think, one of our seasons, he got top scorer, but just like hides in big games. Hides.
As well, Jay. You look at even like both of them, like their output, mate. Last season, 16 Premier League appearances for Spurs, 2 goals, 0 assists. Then at Palace, 0 goals, 1 assist, 4 yellows in 18 Premier League appearances.
That's not good.
But then Dwight McNeil last season, 22 appearances in the Premier League, 0 goals, 1 assist. So he's not doing enough as well. Both of them is a bit like,
I know, but
you give us him, we'll give you.
Yeah, we'll give you crap back.
I don't think they meant any maliciousness there, but it's kind of going online. Brennan Johnson's got a hold of this, and he's gone back on an Instagram account saying one more than these two put together.
I love it.
Ryan
I love it.
There you go. There's the message you put up now on social media if you're watching on the smart TV. Is he right to go back, and are the guys writing what they're saying about him?
He's without doubt right to go back. I love it. I saw it last night actually, and I thought, fair play, mate. You know, fair play. You've got but first and foremost, Jamie O'Hara and Gabby Agbonlahor must have been some players, by the way. Honestly, they must have been absolute world beaters. So I don't mind it one little bit. I think sometimes you have to have a little nibble back, and a lot of people jumped in the comments as well and sort of back Brennan. But listen, it wasn't a great move for Brennan Johnson last season. Obviously, sort of a lot of money to Crystal Palace. Didn't hit the ground running. I think he got 1 assist or whatever it was. But he's still a great player. He is. He's a great player. He's somebody that you want in your team. He's not necessarily going to rip up the earth for you and score goals and, you know, get assists all over the place. But he's the sort of player that's such hard working, such an honest professional, and by all accounts, a really great lad as well. You need them players around the place. You can't all be world beaters. You can't.
Yeah. I mean, but in saying that, then the guys are right. They were great players.
Were they?
Well, yeah.
Who was the greatest out of them two?
I would say Gabby, maybe a little bit more. Was Gabby better than Jamie?
Why? Because he scored more goals.
Yeah.
See, this is on me. Like you lot are so obsessed with people who score goals all the time.
I'm certainly not obsessed with Gabby, but I just wonder, like, Gabby, the job that he did in the Premier League and the amount that people will say about Gabby's career, that other fellow professionals would say about Gabby.
Yeah,
doesn't really come.
I think it's easy when you're a striker to go, well, I scored this many goals, and it's like, well, you were a striker for a decent Premier League team. You know, Villa at that time were actually a really, really good team. But Brennan Johnson, he scored the winning goal for Tottenham in a European final, which again, going back to winning things for team, that means so much. Those Tottenham fans will hold him in the highest regard for the rest of their lives, I guarantee you. So as soon as these two open their mouths about him, you just know Tottenham fans are going to flood everything.
So who do you think had a better career, Jamie or Gabby?
definitely Gabby. It's not even a question. It's not even a question. Are you for real?
Oh, Jamie, we do love
We do love them both.
We
We
won't
do love them.
appreciate
I feel like both of them are missing this part of the brain. Do you know where they think about the repercussions of
Right.
stuff? It's like it's not there, so they just say, like, it's verbal diarrhea. They can just say what they want.
Oh, goodness. Thanks for saying that out loud. We'll send that feedback to them. In fairness to Brendan Johnson, he's got this move to Everton. Ben, how does he rediscover his form?
Yeah, he just needs to get back playing first team football. I think Everton fans will hold him to a very high standard. They will. They won't tolerate anybody, taking their foot off the gas. But it's not Brennan Johnson anyway. He's not that sort of player. He will give you everything, and I think that's why fans probably like him as a player, because he will wear his heart on his sleeve and he'll just give you everything he's got. And Dwight McNeil as well, by the way. I love Dwight McNeil. I think he's a fantastic player. I think. I think Palace have done really well to get him, really, really well. I think if he hits the ground running, he can start to get back to some of the old form from a year ago, 2 years ago. They've got a great player there.
The thoughts of Ben Foster there. Gabby and Jamie don't have that part of the brain where they think about repercussions. Very well said. You're listening to Shebahn Aherne and Ben Foster here, in for White and Jordan. They're back next week for you here on talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go. We'll do transfers for you next.
What's going on, mate? You got
Big
Champions
players
League
come to big
football. You're
football clubs.
selling your best players. Absolute shambles.
The financial fair play rule.
Oh,
Spurs
bore off.
You're
not Spurs.
Can we put some concerts in your stadium?
Well, look, you dig me out all the time last season about Spurs and Beyonce this and Beyonce that.
Now it's helped you?
Yeah, mate, we got the money. We got the cash.
Yeah. Don't make me laugh.
You're selling Morgan Rogers.
We got no choice.
70 mil.
We got no choice.
You got Champions League football.
What can you do, though, if the rules say you have to sell? Do you know what I mean? You have to sell.
You should be banned from the Champions League.
Okay, but
you should be banned.
Okay.
You sold Tillmans. You sold Morgan Rogers. Constance wants to leave. You can't sell your three best players and then expect to be in the Champions League. You should be kicked out.
We signed some very good players as well. Manzambi from what's funny? Manzambi, star, Swiss international at 20 years of age.
Yeah.
We've signed João Gomez from Wolves. Scored a fantastic goal the other night against Bayern Munich. He toe-poked it, Jamie, into the corner. It was fantastic.
Come on, mate.
Garnacho as well, point to prove.
Oh, do me a favour.
So, we'll be all right. We'll be all right, man.
Garnacho.
Well, we've got the best manager in the league.
No, I love Emery. But if you ain't careful, he'll leave.
Really?
Yeah, he'll leave.
Why?
Because he wants to win.
We won last season.
Yeah, I know, but then you've sold your best players.
He'll understand the frustrating rules.
Mate,
he's got owners.
Eventually, he'll go, what, like Eddie Howe's done with Newcastle. He'll go, no, I've had enough.
Isn't that what you want? And you're like your mob and like this so-called top six they call. You want that, don't
big
you?
six.
You don't want
top six, big six.
But you don't want Villa and Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? Being a bit of a pain, do you? You want like you can't.
Oh
spend...
yeah, keep you there. Keep you there.
Good morning, it's 10 to 11, Wednesday the 12th of August. You're listening to talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and Ben Foster. In for Jim White and Simon Jordan. They're back on Monday with Martin Keown. That should be a great listen. Monday morning from 10 with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go. Be honest. Be honest with me. Are you watching the eclipse later?
No, I think honestly, I won't have the attention span to sit there and watch it for that long. I'll watch a condensed time-lapse version on Instagram or something.
Time-lapse, yeah.
Yeah. I remember, I've seen it before anyway. I remember it, 30 odd years ago it was?
27?
What was it? 27 years ago? My God.
Where were you?
I was by my mum and dad's house, round the corner. I was like a little, what do they call them, chav? I was like a proper little chav.
Really?
I remember me and my mates were all around the corner. We were just watching it going, this is a bit weird, isn't it?
Were you having a little...
No, I think I'd have been about, what was it, 16, 17, probably was actually.
Probably had a bottle of Buckfast. Yeah, true. More of that coming up for you later on in the show, but now we're going to have a transfer updates with our senior football correspondent now, Ben Jacobs. Hello, Ben. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, we're really, really good, thanks. Got two Bens. Lucky me. Let's start with Chelsea. I mean, they've done a fair bit of business this window. Talk to us about this transfer they're looking to get now.
Yeah, only one Ben talented, by the way, and it definitely isn't me.
Oh, you're too nice. You're too nice.
Yeah.
Although, actually, during the World Cup, there's a video on the talkSPORT social of me saving a penalty kick, and it was definitely with far better than chocolate wrists, as they call them. So that's my only claim to fame with goalkeeping.
Who took the penalty?
With Chelsea,
who took the penalty?
I think with Chelsea, the Pep Chavaria deal is really interesting because they've signed another left-sided fullback and they've now got options at kind of left-back and full-back, which means that Xabi Alonso has this ability to play back four or back three. We know the latter's his favoured formation. And Chavaria comes in from Rayo Vallecano, very much a move driven by the new Chelsea manager, 90 million euros plus 2 million in add-ons as the total package. And Chavaria has signed a 5-year contract. And now, of course, Chelsea's focus is on outgoings. Trevor Chalobah's already joined Como. Napoli are interested in Benoit Badiashile. Mikhailo Mudryk likely needs to go on loan somewhere. There's Premier League interest and also from Strasbourg. There's one more loan spot for Chelsea if they want to send him there. And they need to resolve the future of Enzo Fernandez sooner rather than later with Manchester City interest. Plus, of course, 2 strikers need to leave and Nicholas Jackson and Liam Delap both have interest.
Ben, do you think this puts an awful lot of pressure on Xabi Alonso going into the new season? I think, we know Chelsea aren't exactly the most patient of football teams when it comes to the managers, but it seems to me like they're putting an awful lot of eggs in this Xabi Alonso shaped basket, doesn't they? With the signings that they've made, some big names going out as well.
Yeah, and I think also in a weird way, not having European football adds more pressure on Xabi Alonso because he's just got that full focus. And as Michael Carrick found when he took over and Man United were top of the form table since Carrick got the job last season, when you've basically got 7 days between each game, there's no excuses in terms of workload or focus, but there is an appreciation within Chelsea that it's been a summer of flux and it may take a little bit of time. But I expect Chelsea to be strong because they will build on some of the stars that are a year older. I think Esteval Willian, now he's back from injury on the right. Morgan Rogers feels like a transplant straight into the starting 11 that can have output, likely, in my opinion, on the left. Cole Palmer's going to benefit through the centre as a consequence in the number 10 role. And then João Pedro is just on fire. And really key to whether Chelsea succeed for me will not be Xabi Alonso and how he integrates, but more have they got that balance now right between top footballers but also characters? And that's where Danny Welbeck and Jordan Henderson could be very underrated signings. But because they're not fighting on all fronts and because they've spent a lot of money, and I think it's 9 signings, including the pre-agreed ones that have come through the door, I agree with you that Chelsea will feel that they can challenge for minimum a Champions League spot. And when I look at them on paper, I think they're basically an 80 points, 80 goals team. And if you hit those kind of numbers, then you're more than just qualifying for the Champions League. You're actually not that far off contending for the title.
So Jason Cundy's got a point, right, of what he said?
Well, has he?
I think it's a massive ask. I do. I think what I will say is I think this season, with so many new managers, not all of them are going to be here by the end of the season. Of
course.
I think we could see sort of half of them at least out of a job.
Yeah.
But it'll be really interesting to see the ones that it does work with.
Yeah.
It'll be really interesting.
Yeah. Ben, talk to us about Ipswich. What are they doing?
Yeah, Julio and Enciso coming back, good signing for Ipswich, and they've been busy in the market as well. Sasha Lukic was signed a couple of days ago. Agreement in principle with Strasbourg, this driven by Gary O'Neill, who was at Strasbourg, but also the fact that Enciso, remember, had a loan spell at Ipswich for half a season in 2025, and I'm not sure that Ipswich will even be done after this necessarily. Outgoing's more of a priority than incomings. George Hurst's future still needs to be clarified as well, but they're looking pretty strong. In fact, I have to say, I don't know what you guys think, all three of the newly promoted sides have had very solid windows so far, and they'll fancy their chances of making a real fight of trying to stay up.
Ben, we were talking about Miles Lewis-Skelly earlier. Rumours about him possibly going to Chelsea, possibly Manchester United. Is there any legs in it?
Well, it's a sensitive story, and it can simultaneously be true that the player wants to stay, and yet a move away has been explored. Arsenal are adamant that they didn't offer him directly. My understanding from the two clubs, Chelsea and Manchester United, is that they were offered Miles Lewis-Skelly, and then we have to temper that by saying Arsenal's perspective is it was not done directly. Intermediaries give everybody a bit of plausible deniability here, but I suppose the most important thing is if Miles Lewis-Skelly wants to stay and fight for his place at Arsenal, then even if somebody agrees a fee, it's going to be very difficult to get him out. My feeling is that Miles Lewis-Skelly's season is vital, should he stay, because he started a Champions League final alongside Declan Rice. And if you flash forwards to next summer and he's still not getting enough minutes because there's other options at left back and Bruno Guimaraes has come in central midfield, then all parties are going to have a very serious conversation. From Chelsea's perspective, there's no real space in their squad at the moment to make a move, but they liked him last year before he signed a new deal at Arsenal. And then Man United do need both a left-back and a central midfield, and Miles Lewis-Skelly ticks both boxes, but at this stage, they've not made a bid. So I'm aware Arsenal fans are not that happy about the prospect of an Arsenal through-and-through player leaving, and there's no guarantee that happens. But it's true to my understanding, even though Arsenal deny they did it directly, that the player was offered to both of those clubs. And now we have to wait and see whether either of them bite. And early indications are that Miles Lewis-Skelly intends to stay.
Okay. Ben, as ever, brilliant update. Thank you. Anything changes, we'll be in touch, all right?
Thanks a lot.
Ben, who took the penalty in America? He's gone again.
He doesn't want to
Can't
answer that question.
Who took the penalty?
I want to know what the save was like as well. I want to know. I wanted a blow by blow of exactly what he did and how he saved.
Maybe he just made it up and then panicked.
I do too. Yeah. So it's a good game, Denny Ben Jacobs. What a waffler.
So who took? What a waffler. Poor Ben. I took the penalty. Ben Fletcher and Jacob. Another Ben. Jeez, too many Bens. Ben Fletcher and Jacob Hawley bring you the latest episode of the Transfer Insiders podcast. It's out every morning with all the latest transfer news available on all of your favourite podcast platforms. Maybe they'll have the answer on who took that penalty. Even more on our website at talksport.com. You're listening to Shebahn Aherne and Ben Foster in for Jim White and Simon Jordan on talkSPORT. More on the way next.
History is going to repeat itself. No, I never go out on a limb and talk like this about Chelsea. I said Arsenal win the title for the last 3 seasons, and eventually they did. I'm going Chelsea. You Gooners, you should be fearful of Chelsea.
This is it, you see. He's been down the Wimpole clinic, and all of a sudden...
What has he been eating in the Maldives? That's what I want to know.
I don't think it's that.
Now,
Don't get me wrong.
What has he been smoking?
Do you know what it is?
He's talking absolute guff.
It's everything, no, Jay. It's everything combined.
Everything about him I hate already.
This is...
His hair, his tan...
His hair. Yeah, no,
the nonsense he's coming out with early doors. Like, he's been back for one show, and he's come back and said, Chelsea are going to win the title.
Yeah, people go away. Right, I think people, as soon as you put a bit of hair back on someone's head, and look, let's be fair, that is a beautiful transplant. right? It's up there. You know, when you think about footballers that have had transplants.
Do you know what, mate? I've seen signs.
It's good, isn't it?
It's all right.
It's a good transplant.
It's not bad.
And I think he's now. Yeah, he's definitely died.
He definitely died.
Yeah, he's definitely died. Of course he has. But he's now just like a new man. He's got this sort of housewife's favourite thing going on. He knows that his sex appeal's back. He knows. I can tell. You know, he's sitting there. He's obviously been in the gym when he's been in the Maldives. Yeah, he's got himself a bit of colour. He's got the beautiful barnet now.
Bit of a dilf.
This is it. Yeah. And then I was talking about him being the housewife's favourite, and he said something like this. Do you know what he said to me? He went, the problem is, if you are the housewife's favourite, it's generally the older girls. You know, you don't really necessarily want the old. I went, you happy to be the old? Do you like the older girls? He went, no, not really.
talkSPORT Sports Update with NordVPN. Now with built-in next-gen antivirus that automatically detects malicious links, websites and files.
1 minute past 11, good morning. A Marc Cucurella replacement for Chelsea has been sealed. His name is Pep Chavaria. He's cost £17 million from Rayo Vallecano. Does this mean Miles Lewis-Skelly is now less likely to move from red to blue? Ben Foster says the 19-year-old should be seen as irreplaceable by Arsenal.
Take away the money side of it. It's their worth of what they mean behind the scenes to have one of them homegrown players, somebody that all those Arsenal fans will look to and he's one of ours. And you haven't got many players in teams that are like that anymore, that have come all the way through the academy.
Carlton Cole, former Chelsea man, agrees that Lewis-Skelly must be kept. He's also revealed to us how man of the moment Jose Mourinho prevented him from winning a Premier League medal back in 2006.
So we won the league with, I think it was 2-3 games to spare. He didn't play me any of them, but he did play Robert Huth. Robert Huth got his medal, probably because of my antics off the field. I was going out too much. I wasn't focusing. He didn't deserve it, basically. He didn't deserve to be a league winner.
In other transfer news, Ferran Torres is on the verge of a move from Barca to PSG. Ipswich have agreed a fee for Brighton's Julio Enciso, and Palace have secured another loan for Evan Gessan. And Brennan Johnson has told Gabby and Jamie O'Hara he's won more than both of them put together after they both mockingly laughed at his swap deal with Dwight McNeil.
What did I do wrong? It was Jamie that said crap for crap.
Well, you could have stuck up for them, couldn't you?
I want to apologise to Brennan Johnson. I could have not laughed. When someone makes you laugh out, you know, it's natural to start laughing, but I thought Jamie O'Hara was out of order.
We'll see what Jamie O'Hara has to say this afternoon. Stuart Broad also commented on the post in defence of Johnson. There's more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
Ministers will hold an emergency meeting on the heat this afternoon, and the national grid operator is urging people to save power ahead of tonight's first solar eclipse in almost 3 decades. Emma has more in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Heatwave outside, oven inside. Stay cool this summer with a free aircon check. Book online or visit your local QuickFit today.
Shock horror, it's warm and dry for the majority of the UK. Some outbreaks of rain in the northwest.
Good morning to you. How's it going? It's Shebahn Aherne, niece of Jim White. If you'd rather hear that, you're listening to talkSPORT alongside Simon Jordan's nephew, Ben Foster.
Is it the tan?
It's the tan, yeah. It's the tan and the your very similar personalities as well.
Oh, Chan.
So posh, like I swallowed a plum. You're listening to talkSPORT. Yes, we've had an interesting show so far. There's this conversation going around of Miles Lewis-Skelly. Is there a conversation on him maybe going to Chelsea or Manchester United? Arsenal fans refuting that heavily this morning. They do not want that to happen. That is a conversation we've been having. And we've also been talking about Brennan Johnson as well, going back at Gabby Agbonlahor and Jamie O'Hara for saying he was CRAP. And he's gone back and said, well, I've won more than them. And we've always enjoyed watching a player going back at a pundit, that's for sure. Let's talk about Brandon Williams on being immature and stupid as a youngster, Ben. He was on your pod not too long ago, am I right?
Yeah, great lad. He's struggled the last few years, obviously. Got released from Manchester United. Really found it hard to find a football club. Went to Hull last season. He's been released again. But just talking to him and digging a little bit deeper, you really get to understand why he is where he is. Obviously, being a Manchester lad, growing up around the area, breaking into the Manchester United first team, scoring goals. He found it really, really difficult with all of that attention. He had quite a few people around him that weren't fantastic influences on him. And it was all around that time of lockdown as well. You know, he told a really sort of story that sort of stuck with me a little bit was when everybody had obviously broke up for lockdown, and he said we were doing kind of team Zoom gym sessions. He said every single one of us had to log on at, 10 in the morning or whatever. He said, and you've got all these players in their mansions, in their own personalised gyms and stuff. And he said, and I'm in my mum's, council estate house. I've had to put rocks in a suitcase and I'm doing them above my head. And you've got all the other lads, but they're all weights and stuff like that. And I think he's probably just got a little bit carried away. It's probably a case of too much too soon, to be honest with you.
Well, he made his debut for Manchester United when he was 19. That was back in 2019 in the Carabao Cup win against Rochdale. He went on to play 51 times for Man United since 2021, made 42 appearances over the 5 years for various then different clubs. But he's done this piece with The Athletic, and a bit like that conversation with you, he's been very open with them, talking about the mistakes that he made and now being able to be in a position to take ownership for everything, saying that he always felt that then looking back it was immature and stupid. And that's why he always says to myself, I got myself in this mess, I'm going to have to get myself out of it. He's had a number of things going on involving a car accident, driving at 99 miles an hour. And he said he's let a lot of people down, to be honest. I want to prove a lot of people wrong as well. That's one thing that is left to do in my life, to get back onto the football pitch and show what I can do. How difficult is it, Ben, like for footballers in modern day now to be able to be mature and be grown men playing amongst men when actually you are a boy at the end of the day?
A boy that's been basically sort of wrapped up in cotton wool all his life. Everything's been given to you. It sounds like he's at the stage where he's really ready to sort of accept accountability of everything that's happened. I mean, talking about money coming too soon for some of these young players, he was 19 years old playing in the Premier League, and I'm sure he'd have been on something silly like £25,000-30,000 a week. It's a recipe for disaster. He said that he was living at his mum's council house and he had a Lamborghini sat on the drive. Everybody knows where he lives. Everybody knows that's his house and his mum's house. And he had so many hangers on that would just take from him. And that's the bit there. I think I'd love to see him get back into a team that just works for him, where he's willing to get his head down and buckle down and start just playing first team football. And that's all his focus is on anymore. It's not about the glitz and the glamour of being a footballer. It's just about grafting. That's all he needs to get back to, really.
Well, he's been doing pre-season with League Two, Rotherham United, so it's clear that he still wants to play football and get back there and get back to where he was. But when he looks back on the situation that he had, like you say, a Lambo sitting in a council estate, there's a lot of eyes on him, there's a lot of pressure, but also having the money at that age to go and get yourself a Lamborghini, is that sensible that they're put in that situation to have that amount of money so young?
No chance. It shouldn't be a thing. I was at Man United when I was, I think, 23. I was at Manchester United. And unless you were a first-team player, solid, bona fide first-team player, one, you couldn't park in the first-team dressing room, but two, you had a sensible car. There was no way you're turning up in a Lambo, a Bentley, a Ferrari, none of that. You come in a sensible car, and that's it. It's as simple as that. And that's the bit that's just gotten a little bit out of hand with footballers nowadays. You see them and they stand out an absolute mile. They've got the 100-gram watches on, they've got the earrings in and the designer wash bag and the fancy car. And it's almost like that's the status and the focus, and that's what's expected of being a young footballer nowadays. And it shouldn't be about that. If you look at rugby, I've watched a lot of rugby. My son plays rugby, and the way these guys go about their business as rugby players, young rugby players, is so refreshing to watch. Honestly, they're so professional. They care about it. They are their own businesses where they look after every element of what they have to do, basically, and they'll never get carried away with it. They're not even like fancy stuff isn't a thing in rugby. And I love that because it makes you work harder and strive harder as well.
Are there fewer role models now, though, for these guys in the dressing room? I mean, like, say, they're all looking above them and they've all got wash bags that are $4,000 or more, whatever that may be. And then they have to do that to fit in with the crowd. Is there a bit of that?
Yeah, it's peer pressure. It is. It's real peer pressure. But the money is so vast nowadays that everybody's on these crazy wages. And it's just what you do. It's like, society as a general. We could get into a deeper political talk if you want, but it's like society. It's watered down where everybody does it now. Back in the day, you might have a few fancy Dans who would come in and their fancy watch or their lovely car and that. But now everybody's got it. Mm-hmm. So the young lads see it. And they want to follow suit as well because they want that status about them. One thing I found really interesting actually with Brandon Williams was he said he really struggled to deal with the fame. He failed to struggle with the pressure of it as well, and he had some really dark moments as well. They had psychologists at Manchester United. He had to go and sort his own psychologist out as well. And he said there were times where I just couldn't get out of bed. He said genuinely when I was at Man United, when I was leaving Manchester United, there were times where I just couldn't get out of bed. It was really dark, and I think if he can use his experience to maybe try and help some younger players coming through as well, it'll be fantastic.
Absolutely. Peterborough owner joined Max Scott yesterday. Darren McAnthony's been on the show for the last couple of weeks, and he says he believes young players aren't prepared for the real world like they used to be.
The things we did with younger players years gone by in football made them a bit tougher.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if you threw a pair of boots at a youngster and told him to clean them, you throw them back at you.
Well, they might say, well, why am I doing this? The player's got a deal. Yeah. I have. Some of these players already got
and when am I getting paid for this? Whereas in the old days, a player getting the captain's boots, he'd go home and tell his parents like it was the greatest gift in the world. I'm in charge of the captain's skipper's boots. I'm going to make sure they're the cleanest boots. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it prepared them. There was a certain way. And I'm not trying to be old school and traditionalist and, we've got to do it this way and not that way. There's a common sense, common ground to it all. I was
just going to say.
And far too many of these young people aren't ready for the real world.
Had this conversation at the weekend. I mean, where are the days of Ray Parlour buzzing about cleaning boots because it meant you were in there with the guys and you were doing something good for them. And you were kind of earning other bits of, not only a talent player because you're there, but you have to get the basics right. You have to learn the fundamentals.
Yes, 100%. I love Darragh, I do. He talks so much sense. He really does. And I totally agree with what you're saying as well. You have to work hard as a youngster. You can't have it just given to you. I remember when I signed for Stoke when I was 18 years old. I was in the youth team. And even walking into that first team dressing room to go and get the boots that I had to clean, I was absolutely kicking myself. Seriously, I was walking in there thinking, I'd almost knew when it would be its quietest, when they would start a gym. So then I'd sort of try and creep in. But if somebody was in there, oh my God, you'd walk in and they'd go, have you knocked? And you'd go bright red and you'd go, what? And they'd go, did you knock on the door? Did you knock before you came in? And then they'd make a point of it. But you learn from all these experiences. You do. I think as young men as well, you need real senior leader figures in front of you. Somebody that you're almost scared of a little bit as well, because young lads, when they get together, it's like watching Gabby and Jamie. They get all excited and giddy, and then one bounces off the other, and before you know it, you start saying silly things.
Who's responsible for this then? Is it the clubs? Is it the agent? Is it the parents? Is it the FA?
I think it's the clubs. I think it's tough for them at the same time though, because gone are the days where you would clean boots or go and collect all the bits and balls. Bring it back, but they're not allowed to do it anymore. But that's the problem. They're not allowed to do it anymore. So the powers to discipline and to really reinforce these basic things, they're not allowed to do anymore. So the players who, they're on, like Darragh said there, you've got players, young lads, 18-year-olds on $5,000 a week, 10 grand a week. They're driving Mercedes cars. Do you know what I mean? They've got
got too much power.
They've got too much power. You're not allowed to say boo to a goose anymore, and that's a massive problem.
Yeah, I mean, that has to be sorted out because we think it's bad now in 10 years' time.
Oh, without doubt, yeah.
And then bless them as well. It's not their fault.
No.
You know, they're put into that environment. They're put into that situation. And you might hear at home that that's very, very different circumstance, that they're still made to load the dishwasher, empty it, do the things that you have to do to keep a home going. But if you're going into your work at 19 and getting $100,000 a week.
You know what? Some teams do now. They know the young lads, and I'm not even talking about 18, 19. I'm talking 23, 24, 25. Never cooked their own meal.
Yeah.
They've never cooked an actual meal for themselves or for anybody else. They will still, when they finish training, they'll go and have lunch, and then they'll have pots waiting for them to take home for dinner. They'll have pots ready-made by the chef at the football club to take home that they just stick in the microwave, and that's what they'll have for dinner.
Yeah, and then you wonder when they come out of the football system where they're left with that.
Yeah,
feeling
exactly.
that
Still don't know how to operate in society, basically.
I mean, we know this, but how does it change? You know, do the clubs really have to start cracking down on this? 03717 223344. You're listening to Shebahn Aherne and Ben Foster here on talkSPORT. We're in for White and Jordan. The guys are back next week on Monday with Martin Keown. Business resumes as normal then with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
talkSPORT reporter Max Scott has sent the callers crazy. He has done his top 10 clubs in Britain. Have a listen if you missed it. The highlights of it are there is no Chelsea and Tottenham in the top 10. Celtic are above Arsenal. Forest are 5th above Villa in 6th. No Rangers. So let's head to the phone lines now and get your thoughts on 03717 223344. Clive is a Chelsea fan, and before we say it in Clive, Chelsea is a big club for me, a big, big club. Morning, Clive.
Morning, Clive.
Morning. This guy's an idiot. I mean, he's going back saying about Brian Clough and Forest. Yeah, that's what they won then. But if you go back, he's saying, I mean, I'm a Chelsea supporter and they're a big club. But saying Man City weren't big before now is ridiculous. You remember Man City in the 60s, Franny Lee, Mike Summerby, they were a big
Colin
club.
Bell.
Always a big club.
Colin Bell, yeah.
What a player. What a player. You know what I'm saying? He's picking a little bit of history. You can't say Forest are in the top 10 clubs.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Well, when I think of Clive, when I think of big clubs, I think of support, travelling support.
Yeah.
You know,
precisely.
been up there with great players and challenging Europe. Maybe not necessarily winning it, but you know, they're big clubs for me.
That's right. Yeah, big clubs. Man City's always been a big club. Chelsea's always been a big club.
Good morning, how are you doing today? It's 20 past 11, Wednesday, the 12th of August. It's Shebahn Aherne and Ben Foster with you in for White and Jordan. Looking forward to the eclipse tonight. It's been decided there's going to be a family barbecue.
Oh, nice. I do a barbecue every night. I showed you a picture of my meat earlier, didn't I?
Yeah. It's barbecue, that was. All right?
I've got a dry aging fridge at home. Right, I love cooking. I've always loved cooking, and I love barbecuing. I love it.
Do you barbecue in the winter as well?
All the time.
Do you?
We've got a nice little outdoor seating area thing with my barbecue under it, so we can go out at any point. You ain't going to get wet. And I've got this dry aging fridge, and I've got these 2 massive chunks of meat in it. I'm talking huge ribeye joints. They're massive. And I got one out last night. You've got to proper saw through it and everything, take all the dead pellicles off it and stuff like that.
Ooh.
Cooked it up on the barbie last night. It's a 60-day aged dry aged steak. Unbelievable it was.
How much is a big lump of that?
The 2 of them, they're both 10 kilo each, was about 400 quid. I got them at cost price though. Shout out Paul Foster chef, what a boy.
Are you brothers?
No, we're not actually. No, he's a Michelin chef though, and he got me at cost prices. So well done, Paul. Thank you.
Oh, if you want to send some my way, because by the way, the M&S steak prices
Oh, it's
are
so
through the
expensive.
roof.
20 quid for a fillet nowadays.
A wee medallion.
I know, 20 quid they are.
I know.
They're a joke.
Need some of Ben's. Okay, yeah, I'd like to see Eclipse tonight. More on that a little bit later on. We're talking about who is the favourites for the title because Jason Cundy returned from his holiday. The hair's looking fantastic. He's tanned, he's glowing, he's got it all going on for him. He was back on the sports bar and admitted he has huge expectations for Chelsea this season.
There is no reason why Chelsea cannot win this title. In fact, I'm going to say it. Chelsea win the title.
Oh!
Chelsea win the title. There is something about Chelsea. There is something about what we have got a cheat code. I'm not proud to say this, but we can go and win the title for a number of reasons. One, have you seen our front three? João Pedro, Morgan Rogers and Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer's at a rest. He's been absolutely flogged. João Pedro's had a rest. Our midfield, the recruitment at the back, looks like almost certainly we're going to be playing a 3 at the back with someone called Xabi Alonso that knows how to win a title. 1 game a week. We saw how beneficial that can be when Conte took over Chelsea. Went to 3 at the back. Chelsea win the title. History is going to repeat itself. No, I never go out on a limb and talk like this about Chelsea. I said Arsenal win the title for the last 3 seasons, and eventually they did. I'm going Chelsea. You Gooners, you should be fearful of Chelsea.
There you go. Fresh from his holiday. He's been preparing that one.
He looks incredible, by the way.
Jason.
Doesn't he? Glow up he's had.
Looks really, really good.
Very, very good.
Yeah, the tan suits him. The hair's come in nicely. But are people sleeping on Chelsea, Ben?
Do you know what? I hadn't even considered Chelsea. Genuinely hadn't considered them until I've just listened to what Cundy said, and he might have a bit of a point. He genuinely might have a bit of a point. And I do still think, obviously Morgan Rogers, the biggest signing, without doubt. But if you can get a Cole Palmer back firing, a Cole Palmer from a year ago firing, and having Danny Welbeck and Jordan Henderson setting the tone in training and the standards around the place, I think all of those young lads will look up to them too, and everything will be raised. Everything will be raised.
I think also Jason makes the point that a number of people had made about Chelsea a few seasons ago when they were spending billions on all these young players coming in, like they were building a team for a few seasons from now.
Yep.
And what they were lacking was that experience, shall we say. Okay, they've got a number of red cards last season as well, so the older heads coming in might help that along the way. But actually we're at that stage now. We are a few seasons later, so why should we be sleeping on them?
Maybe they actually do know what they're doing. Imagine that. I remember Simon Jordan said something, didn't he, a year ago, 2 years ago? He was basically saying that he still believed that Chelsea would win the Premier League within the next 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm sure he said it.
No, you're right.
And everybody ridiculed him because they were in a right state, weren't they? Spending money right all over the place. But I just think with how much chaos there's been in the Premier League this season, the amount of new managers, it might be one of those seasons where we have a low points total. Nobody can dominate the Premier League. And Chelsea might, if they can get off to a good start, no European football as well.
Mm-hmm.
You never know.
Caveat, will it be if they keep Enzo Fernandez, or do you think they've got enough without him?
I still think they need to keep him.
I think
He's a winner. We were talking about him in the break, weren't he? He's a little ferret is what he is. But he's a winner. He's a horrible, dirty little winner that you want in your team. It's as simple as that. You're just buzzing because he knocked England out. I know. I can see it all over your face.
I did not say that at
That's
all.
Your face is exactly saying that.
He was a disgrace. But listen, we've seen that with him before. We've seen his behaviour like that the whole time.
You want it on your team, though.
And Enzo gave him the captaincy, so there's something in there.
Yeah, you want him on your team. You really, really do. So yeah, I do. I think Jason Cundy might have. But I'm not going to say they're going to win it because there are some really strong teams, and I mean Arsenal. I just don't think anybody's going to run away with it this year. No chance.
I would like that to be the case, Thomas, as well. You know, on paper, it looks like it's going to be a very exciting season. Man United, have you thought about them for a title charge?
Definite chance. If they can add, we were talking about it earlier, weren't we? If they can add one big boy up top, they've definitely got a chance. If I feel like Kobbie Mainoo's got a point to prove this season, their defence is kind of settled. They've got a really strong attack, apart from that main focal guy. Youri Tielemans coming in as well, Andre Santos. If they can carry on from last season, because that's a big thing as well, you know, you always like to finish the season well because you carry that on. The standards have already been set from what Michael Carrick put in place last season, and they'll like to think they can carry that on into the new season as well.
There's chat about Delap potentially being on the way out. Man United, back up, big handful.
He is a handful. I still feel he's got like another year or two left of development. I still think he's left Ipswich too early. I feel like he needs to just play with no pressure of playing for a big club yet, and just go about his business and do what he does. Find a real effective way of playing his style of football, and then go to a big boy. I think it's asking a lot. It's asking a lot for Chelsea to expect him to score them 20 goals next season.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I think João Pedro could be that guy. In fairness, he's, you know, I was with João at Watford, and he's a great lad, but two, works his socks off. Maybe not the most natural of goal scorers, but you know what you're going to get from him at least.
Who's winning the title?
Don't know. I don't know. I want to know what you think of this, because I haven't got a clue. I really haven't. I think it's one of the most hardest calls to make we've had in recent years.
The thing is about Manchester City, I wonder without Pep how different it'll be.
Yep, and if they lose Rodri.
Exactly. You wonder what it's going to be like, but then you never write them off. Arsenal, I think, look like the most complete team.
Gabriel injured though for 5 months.
For 5 months.
And Trossard going out. I don't like the Trossard sale. I really don't. I think he's such a big, influential player for them. I can't believe they've sold him.
I know, but then Guilherme Reis came on in.
Big signing. Like him a lot.
But then I also look at Manchester United and I wonder, but Chelsea, I think, Jason's right. I don't think we should be sleeping on it at all.
No. We could have a 5 or 6 horse race this season. Yeah. That would be incredible. It really would. I don't want to see somebody run away with it.
Go on then, though. But Jason looked down the camera and delivered that it will be Chelsea.
I know.
So who is it, Ben? Put your neck on the line.
I'm going to say Man United. I do. I think Man United. I think the last season's form has set into motion a style of play and an expectation of what them players have to deliver week in, week out for Manchester United.
But they've got Champions League. They're back in Champions League.
They're back in Champions League.
I think they've got enough.
I think if they can add another one or two, Man United are definitely within a shout. But they need to add 1 or 2 big uns. But the problem nowadays is if you're going to add 1 or 2 big uns, then it's 200 million quid. Mm-hmm. Liverpool need a couple big uns.
However, I mean, we do know that Manchester United look like they have something left to spend.
Yes.
You know, where is it they're going to spend that? Is it going to be in a striker? Yeah. You think they need someone else up front?
They need a striker. Maybe a big centre-back. De Ligt was obviously he's out for an injury. There's a bit of mystery surrounding what he's actually out injured with. They could do with a big centre-back, another big midfielder, somebody that can get forward and score goals like a Casemiro used to do with his head, and then a big striker. But if you're 2 or 3 players, again, it's 200 mil.
Mm-hmm,
it is.
Mm-hmm. There you go, Man United fans. You'll like the sound of that. Do you agree with Ben Foster? 03717 22 33 44. Can Man United challenge for the title this season? You listen to Shebahn Aherne and Ben Foster in for White and Jordan on talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
Steve gets in touch with the United fans. He says, boys, with Rashford, we've been down this road so many times. We've sang his name, give him over 300 grand a week, backed him and watched him stink the gaff out week after week. Body language is such a huge part of football.
It is.
I can't sit in the Stretford end again and watch him sort of mope around and sulk on the pitch. He's worked hard for any club who'd take him on loan over his supposed boyhood club. We've been down this road too many times. Shake hands, get him out the door ASAP. Do you understand that sentiment from some Manchester United fans?
Totally. I totally get it. Yes, he's burnt his bridges there. I get all the reasons for it, and he's done himself no favours whatsoever. Like I said, the player had potential to be top. Really, it's time to buy him a giant mirror. It's like, look in the mirror, son. Barcelona didn't want to buy you for 30-odd million. That's a drop in the ocean for a club like Barcelona. Nobody in the Premier League allegedly wants you either. Because I don't see any, I said recently maybe Tottenham should sign him, but they're obviously not getting the bids. So you're already at one of the biggest clubs in the world. Like, at some point, when does the penny drop? Because your next contract's not going to be 350 grand a week. The Saudi money looks like it's going away. I ain't sure Turkey, somewhere he's going to want to live. Yep. So where are you going after this? How old is he now? He's still, he's in his prime. So he's really got to figure this out and buckle down, or he's going to become a 31-year-old nobody, who basically his career is dried up and finished, in a few years' time. So really, maybe they're going to motivate Marcus Rashford. Maybe that will suit Man United. But I agree about the body language. I agree everything that happened before, and he ended up with a massive contract that they can't get out from under. So I don't think the people at United, the powers to be, will fall for that again.
talkSPORT News.
Good morning with your latest news headlines. I'm Emma Smith. Ministers will hold an emergency meeting on the heat this afternoon. Number 10 says it's aware of the pressure on farmers, firefighters and A&D staff. Paul Dover from Arla Foods, which owns Lurpak, says the heat and lack of grass is hitting the food industry.
Mostly that our farmer owners are concerned about the heat of our cows, so they're doing all they can to cool the cows down. But in real terms, from a financial perspective, it means the stocks of feed that are reserved for winter are now going to be used and brought forward and used at a time they wouldn't normally use them.
Another 13 migrant hotels have closed. They include ones in Stratford-upon-Avon and Blackpool. It comes as Andy Burnham says middle-class families must play their part by accepting asylum seeker accommodation in their areas, not just poorer communities. Children as young as 10 are among those who've been injured while riding e-scooters in England. Nearly 500 incidents have been reported since 2019. The average age was just 12 and fewer than 2% were wearing helmets. And the National Grid operator is urging people to save power ahead of tonight's first solar eclipse in almost 3 decades. Supplier Octopus is asking customers to avoid using appliances as solar generation drops. The moon will obscure more than 90% of the sun over UK skies. Science and space expert Dr. Neve Shaw is excited.
This is like once in a generation, really. Like, I remember it in 1999, so you'll never forget it. It felt prehistoric.
talkSPORT Sports Headlines with Bostik. For workable, easy-to-apply mortar that tools easily, pros trust Bostik.
Chelsea have replaced Mark Cucurella and Man City have a new goalkeeper. Max has more at midday.
Hello there, how are you doing today? You're listening to White and Jordan with Shebahn Aherne and Ben Foster today. We've insulted each other a couple of times already.
You just led me down a garden path then.
It was a good thing though, I complimented you and you thought I'd thrown you out
I appreciate
sandwich.
it. I need you to, who do you think is going to win the Premier League basically?
I like Manchester United. I like the idea of it. I just don't know yet.
No fence sitting.
I think it's Chelsea. I think Chelsea win the Premier League. I said that at the weekend as well. I like the idea of Xabi. He knows how to win a title. But for me, it will depend on if they can keep Enzo Fernandez at Chelsea.
I like it. I respect your opinion. It's nice.
Thank you for saying that. No one else does. Time now to get the latest odds with BetMGM.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. We're ready for the action. Are you? Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
And now we're joined by Alex Licence. What a name from BetMGM to look ahead to today's sporting events and discuss the latest odds. Hello, Alex Licence.
Morning, guys. You not heard that one before.
I know, brand new chat from us. You've got a license to bet. Go on then. I mean, where are we at with the odds for who's going to win the title? Jason Cundy thinks Chelsea. Ben Foster thinks Manchester United.
Well, Arsenal, the current favourites, as you would imagine, at 6-4. Man City just behind them in the market, 11-4. Then you've got Liverpool 5-1, Man United 13-2, and then Chelsea at 8-1. So they're sort of the leading pack, and then behind them in the market is actually Tottenham at 20-1.
Oh.
So a bit of value there if anyone fancies De Zerbi to work his magic.
De Zerbi seems like an amazing coach. Everybody's speaking very, very highly of him. But the business they've done this window, are we sleeping on Spurs?
I think winning the Premier League just a little
Too
bit.
much.
Just a little bit.
Too much too soon.
2 17ths in a row and then going to win it, I don't think's attainable. But they have had some incredible signings this summer.
Well, we'll look at where Manchester United finished the season before to where they finished last season.
Yeah, true that.
The jumps are possible.
Yeah, true that.
Lovely stuff. Talk to us about the Super Cup preview then. It's coming up. PSG against Aston Villa. 8 o'clock here tonight on talkSPORT. What's the odds for that?
Yeah, so Villa looking to be just the second team in the last 18 years to win the Super Cup as the winners of the Europa League or the UEFA Cup, as it was. But Villa, if you remember, they've won this competition already. They beat Barcelona over 2 legs back in '82. It won't be an easy task, will it? Of course, back-to-back champions PSG. But Villa did beat PSG in that quarter-final at Villa Park a couple of seasons ago, although they did get beat in the tie 5-4. I have to say I did have a little bit of a chuckle looking at the referee appointment for tonight, and it's the same referee that FIFA refused entry to the US for the World Cup. So I'm sure that's very much a coincidence and not a bit of pettiness from UEFA.
Yeah, it's definite pettiness. UEFA's got that in them all day long.
That's good that he's back to it. Tell us about goal scorers and stuff tonight.
Well, yeah, so looking at team news, it's PSG pretty much full strength by the looks of it. Barcola and Doué bench, but other than that, the Dembele starting, Kvaratskhelia will be fresh with obviously no World Cup over the summer, and then the new lad Akliuchi, I hope I've not butchered that they've signed from Monaco. Looking at Villa's side, they are without quite a few of the key men. McGinn, bit of an injury risk apparently. Emi Martinez not ready. Watkins, a doubt, and Konza. So yeah, well, looking at the odds of that, PSG are the favourites, as you would imagine. They're 7-10 to win in 90 minutes. Villa at 19-5, and then the draw at 3-1. But if you look at some of the stats, 6 of the last 8 Super Cups, they've been level after 90 minutes, and all 4 of PSG's finals that they played in last season did go to penalties. So I think if you're looking for a little bit of value tonight, I'd be looking at either the draw at 3-1, or you can get 6-1 for PSG to win on penalties, or 13-2 for Villa to win on pens.
Okay.
Can we talk about relegation odds from the Premier League? Have you got them in front of you?
I can get them, yeah. Why?
He's got the licence to get them. Don't worry about it.
Who's favourite to get relegated this season?
Hull are pretty out-and-out favourites at 1-4. It is as you'd expect with the promoted teams being the bottom 3. So Ipswich 16-25, and then Coventry also same price, 16-25. So yeah, as bookies, we're expecting the 3 promoted sides to go down. Do you agree with that, or you fancy someone else to drop?
I just think it's probably an easy decision, isn't it, straight away to pick the 3 that have come up. But it's always who would be next in that list. Which of the Premier League teams that were in it last season are favourite to go down?
Well, interestingly, Sunderland. Sunderland, we've got Sunderland at 3-1. I mean, obviously they shocked everyone, didn't they, last year with the season, but they haven't done much business at the minute. They're going to have Europe to contend with, which we know could sort of massively hamper your seasons. We saw it at Forest. So yeah, Sunderland, they're pretty much the closest to them. The next in the market is Fulham out at 11-2, so a little bit of a difference there.
Sunderland fans be fuming with that, by the way.
I know. I mean, why should they be in that category with the job they did last season? Like Alex says there, then obviously having European football changes things, but they've got a really young squad.
I'm sure they have
really young,
5 or 6 players playing at the World Cup as well.
Exactly. Interesting.
Yeah.
We've got Premier League clubs pre-season friendlies happening today. today and tomorrow as well?
We do, yeah. So several Premier League sides in action. We got Arsenal facing Como, Newcastle, Everton at Murrayfield. But as a Leeds fan, born and bred in Manchester, there's only one game that I'm focusing on. And I'm just glad, Ben, that you didn't throw Leeds into the relegation mix in that last conversation. I will absolutely use this to remind everyone that Leeds took 4 points off Man United last season, and pretty impressed with the business we've done so far, quite optimistic for the season. But it has sparked a little bit of a debate in the office, which I'd love both of your opinions on. Should rivals like Leeds and Man United really be playing each other in a friendly? Because for me, absolutely not. There's never really a friendly against them, but this is going to be the 4th meeting in 8 years that we played each other. Does everyone really want to see that? What do you think?
Am I right in saying it's in Ireland as well?
It's at Croke Park, yeah.
What a game this is. Honestly, the fans want to see this like you would not believe. This will be, you'll have both managers tonight saying, right, do you know how much this means to our sets of fans? Do you know how much this means? This is the sort of game you need before the season starts, because I'm not saying they're going to be giving it 100%, but it'll be as close to 100% as what you would get. I promise you that.
Is that what you want, though?
Yes. Is
that not dodgy?
No,
time of the season,
you need to get it up to speed.
But would the fans not rather see everyone come off safe and sound than the rivalry maybe getting a little bit over emotional and someone coming off an injury?
In a dream scenario, you have it as close to 100% from both teams. It's a good competitive game, and everybody comes away from it with no injuries or no niggles. But I just think it's so important to have these types of games where they actually mean something and you get a meaningful. Because when you're actually playing, you're able to go to 110, 115% in training, and even in pre-season friendlies, you barely get out of 80%, I promise you. So you need to start really tuning it up.
So you think the players will be giving it 100
without doubt, because Michael Carrick will be getting into them, Leeds manager will be getting into them as well.
Okay, looking forward to that one then. That might be the most interesting pre-season friendly that's come across our desk.
That's a spicy one.
Yeah.
It's a really good one, I like it.
And we've got some golf to look ahead to as well, please, Alex.
Yeah, quickly, Shebahn, on that. Would you want to see Celtic Rangers in a pre-season friendly? Would you get
Oh gosh.
Nope.
That's my opinion as a Leeds fan. I'm not fussed.
Yeah, I think just pending the fact that there's so much hatred there that when do you then draw the line in it having to mean something, or just somebody could risk an injury, or a couple of players could come away injured from it because there's so much hatred that changes the emotions, and can they control it? And I don't know. I mean, it's interesting that you think that.
Yeah, pre-season friendlies, I always just went through the motions in pre-season friendlies because you know it ultimately it doesn't mean anything. And if you had one where the fans won't let you off the hook, you get up for the game, I promise you.
Yeah, maybe actually in this summer there, the pre-season friendly of Celtic and Rangers would be interesting. But however, with Martin O'Neill and at the moment Derek McInnes at Rangers, I'm actually looking towards September and going, that is going to be some fixture to look forward to. That's going to be some derby, that. So I'm glad we've got to wait for it. It might be worth the wait, or it might not.
I think Celtic Rangers one game that will never ever get played as a pre-season friendly ever.
You make a good point. Go on then with the golf. We've got the St Jude Championship to look ahead to.
We do, yeah. I mean, judging by social media, it looks like you've been spending more time on the course than Ben recently. Is that correct?
It's not getting any better, honestly. It's just so frustrating. Everybody says it to you, don't they? Like it's the most frustrating game. But the other day at the driving range, I chucked a club, and apparently that's your gutter when you do stuff like that. There was a wee boy in the bay next to me, and he looked so shocked and a wee bit upset, and I thought, buddy, you've got it all to see ahead of you, young man. Like,
you mean you threw it in anger, or you let go of it as you hit?
No, I threw it in anger.
Come on, you got to set an example.
Oh, give over. Why? I mean, that's the one thing where I think I'm a hothead. And why can't you be frustrated at golf? I mean, I've shouted F off and this, that, and the next thing. And my husband goes, stop it, Shebs, don't do that. You can't do that here. And I'm like, oh, you can F off as well then. Everyone's getting it. You know, it's so frustrating. Why can't you show that anger at golf?
The hardest game in the world, golf. It is.
But thanks for bringing that up, Alex.
No problem. I'm in the same boat as you. I'm terrible. My club's got put in the loft a long time ago.
Yeah. So we've got this championship to look ahead to. Who's favourites?
Yeah, as you said, the first of 3 FedEx playoff events getting underway tomorrow. Scotty is favourite, as you would expect, at 4-1. But this week and next week, probably more about who's going to miss out more than anything. You've got Jordan Spieth, Max Homer, Shane Lowry, all at risk of elimination. But yeah, looking at the price, as you said, Scotty is a favourite. But if you want to look a bit further down the field, a bit more value, maybe Rory 12-1. Obviously, he's had a couple of weeks off. Loves the big stage, doesn't he? Tommy Fleetwood, defending FedEx champion, third in his last 2 starts here. Matt Fitzpatrick, 22-1. Sorry, he's having a really good season. Or maybe Matsuyama, 22-1, plays really well in Memphis. 5 consecutive top 7s. And a win here in 2024.
Lovely. And this weather's been brilliant as well, hasn't it?
Is the FedEx the one where whoever wins it, it's like $10 million or something?
And
like
the trophy's like the size of the house.
Massive, yeah.
That's that one, isn't it?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. We don't want to read across our stuff, aren't we, Ben? Alex, good to have you. Thank you so much for your time.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Alex licensed there. That was a look at the latest odds, all thanks to BetMGM. Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app now. 18 plus, speedgambleaware.org.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Keep things golden with responsible play at betmgm.co.uk. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
I know Salah didn't play as much last season, but to not have Mo Salah, your talisman, like who's going to take that? No, Isak should, but he's right to call it there, Egan. His injury record is horrendous. If he gets injured again, touch what he doesn't, who's the striker? Gakpo, false 9.
Apparently they're in for Bacola. I like him. I think he's top player.
Do you think he's a £130 million player?
Well, if Elliot Anderson's 110, how much they pay for it?
110.
Morgan Rogers, your mate, has gone to
117.
117 million.
I know.
Like Bacola,
crazy, isn't it?
Of course, PSG are going to say, well, all right, he's 130 million. He won the Champions League, played in the World Cup.
But if you're Liverpool, is that exactly what you need off that left hand side?
Probably not. They need a replacement for Salah.
They need goals.
Yeah, they need goals.
Do you know what I mean? Barcola I agree. I love watching him. I feel like if I was a right back, I wouldn't sleep the night before playing against him. He's rapid. He's 6'2", wherever he is, long strides, quick, but he's not a finisher. The amount of times I've watched him and he's gone through one goal and he'll make the wrong pass and finishes are a bit wild and doesn't finish chances he should do. Liverpool need to bring in a winger who's going to get goals, because you can't rely on Isak. You can't. You should be able to. Wirtz isn't a goal scorer. You spent over 100 million for Wirtz, and he's not a goal scorer, mate.
It feels like it's a bit of a mess.
McAllister wasn't good last season. How's he going to come back after the World Cup? Zoboszlai is obviously a fantastic player. Gravenberch needed some help last season in that number 6 as well.
I just can't believe it. Liverpool, we're saying, Champions League. Yeah, we'd take Champions League.
I agree. Their fans won't like it.
Good morning, nearly good afternoon. How you doing? It's Wednesday, the 12th of August. You're listening to Shebahn Aherne and Ben Foster and for White and Jordan here on talkSPORT for the last week only. They are back next week. What's the movie that you're...
So we were just talking about I can't sit still for very long. I've got a very short attention span. I always have to be moving or doing something. And me and my wife went to watch, what's the new Trojan Horse film?
Trojan Horse
film? You know, it's not like...
film reviews
what's
with
his
Ben
name?
Foster.
Achilles and all that lot. Anyway,
Achilles?
You know...
Odyssey.
Odyssey, yeah, Odyssey.
Yeah, the 3-hour one. No
Yes,
time for
exactly. 3 hours long it was. So everybody knows I'm not very good at sitting still for that amount of time. But you know what? I loved it. What a film! It was so good. 3 hours, and I not for 1 minute did I think I'm bored here, or I need to get out, or I need to move, or something. 3 hours, sat there, drove through it, and it was really good. Really enjoyed it.
See, I think this is where I can't sit still. Already the idea of 3 hours, I'm like, no, I just couldn't do it. Like
you just said you could binge watch one of those housewives things, couldn't you?
All day long, but at home where I can like pause it and go to the toilet. Put the kettle on.
We've got one of those fancy everyman cinemas near us.
Oh, you
and you plot up and they bring like drinks to you, cocktails and pizzas and burgers and all that. It's lovely.
I need to give it a go, to be honest. But then even the story about a Trojan horse just doesn't do it for me.
I think it might have actually happened though. I think it's like real.
Oh, is
it's not
it?
one of those made up ones.
Based
Maybe.
on true events?
Yeah, basically.
I'll decide. Let's get into football players doing more or less media. This article is doing the rounds at the moment with Sam Lee, who works at The Athletic, and he's covering Manchester City. He's been out in the pre-season tour of South Korea. He was on the Weekend Sports Breakfast with us, and we were asking him about life when you're following Man City after Pep. You know, what's it like with him not being there? And his first response was, I don't actually know if people will find this interesting or not, but it's a lot more relaxed. It's a lot more relaxed in terms of his job as a journalist. The access to players is even a lot more friendly and free-flowing. It's not as strict as it used to be. And, you know, that discussion then is going around whether that's a good thing or bad thing. Did Pep Guardiola have those boundaries in place to protect his players, or was it just a bit too controlling?
I think it's a bit of a double-edged sword, this one. So the way that Man City operate, and I think a lot of the big Premier League teams do now, they have that many kind of sponsorship deals, endorsements, commitments, where every month they will have a media day. They'll designate it as a media day. It'll be a week where they don't have a midweek fixture. So they'll pick, say, what might normally be the day off, for example, might be a Tuesday or Wednesday. They'll pick that day as the designated media fulfillment day, where every player will have to go and do something, whether it's turning up to a sponsored event or this, that, whatever. That's what they have to do nowadays. It's that their way of basically fulfilling all these obligations, and then it's done for another month. Forget about it. And that's a great way of doing it. Really, you know, really good way of doing it. But I think if you are to open it up and have a lot more access and freedom, if that freedom is afforded to a player that maybe not the best at communicating or saying it the way that they want to say it, it's very easy to put your foot in your mouth. Very, very easy. I do a podcast, and if I have to get in touch with a player, I'll slide in their DMs, for example, on Instagram. Hello, mate, fancy coming on the podcast? And they'll, yeah, brilliant, love to. What they'll then do is they'll send me the media guy's number from that football club and say, can you just touch base with him first, please, and let him know that we're going to do it. I want to do it. Can you just let him know? And then I'll have to send like a bit of a brief through to the media guy at the football club, and they'll greenlight it, and then we can get it on.
But if the players replied to you saying, yes, they want to do it, they've offered the indication that they're comfortable. So
Yes.
you would imagine any player who sat like Phil Foden, he had a 10-minute interview at pre-season, which doesn't really happen, but it allowed him the opportunity to sit and be comfortable. Fans got excited. Oh, he seems in a good place. All this kind of chat. Is that not a good thing, A, for the player, and B, for everybody around him, that it's a bit more relaxed?
Yes, if they're good at talking, and Phil's brilliant at talking. I did an Amazon piece with him a couple of years ago, and he is phenomenal. Honestly, what a great lad, lovely lad. And if he feels safe and secure, where he feels like he's not going to get stitched up, he'll give you all sorts. He really will. But I think a lot of players are just so uncomfortable with the world that we live in now in the media. Everybody needs clickbait. Everybody wants that sensational story. Everybody. And a lot of players are worried that they're going to be the victim of that reporter asking a bit of a snidey question. That's
They're
what
going to turn it on
they're
them.
going to turn it on them. And I think if you give unfettered access to some of these players, you could be asking for trouble. But I also agree that it's nice to hear from some of these players in a bit more of a relaxed setting.
So you wouldn't advise that they do any more? Keep it to this kind of one. Obviously this is pre-season, so it's a completely different setting. But when the Premier League starts back up, it'll go back to these one media days, and then perhaps the ship will be run a bit more tighter again.
Yes. That I found in my football career when I was doing my podcast and I was doing my YouTube channel, the Cycling GK. I always found that if we're doing well and we're winning, yeah, you can do what you want to do. Genuinely, you can put the videos out, you can talk to people, you can do interviews. The second that you start losing or you have bad performances, it's a no-go. Not only do the club not want it, the fans don't want to see it either. They want you. All they want to see is pictures of you on the training ground, working. It's like they want to see you doing double sessions, treble sessions. You better be thinking of nothing but football, and that's genuinely how it goes.
So you were a bit of a trailblazer in terms of being a professional player and doing YouTube and creating content.
Yeah.
Did you become a nightmare for the club at any point?
100%, yes.
Really?
Massive nightmare for the club. When I started doing the YouTube channel, we were in the Championship and we were winning every game. We got promoted that season, and it all just ran alongside their media content. They would promote. They were all on board. They really were. And then we got promoted into the Premier League. And when you're getting beat 8-0 away at Man City,
and Ben's vlog, like and subscribe.
Never mind, everybody. We tried our best. Don't forget to hit that like button down below and get in the comments. It don't go down well. Honestly, it don't go down well. So the club see that, they see the reaction. They genuinely have people kind of commenting and getting in touch with the club saying, stop him doing this, all right, stop it. Because then you get other clubs' fans, they start jumping on board and they're going, he don't care, look at Watford, they're a laughing stock and all that kind of stuff. So you have to be really careful.
And I think what you're right in saying about players who maybe aren't good talkers or don't feel comfortable, they'll not be throwing their hand up for press, but you will get players who want to offer more, who want to speak more, who are comfortable at speaking and maybe managing the media. Yeah. And I like it when clubs embrace that and you hear more from them. I think it's important to show their character.
This is why we've seen the rise of kind of independent YouTube channels and independent news outlets now, because it's coming from a different perspective. If you get a club-run podcast, for example, that's ran by the club, all the questions are verified and checked off by the club, you know what answers you're going to get. They're going to be so sanitised, aren't they? They're going to be yes, no, and they're going to toe the party line.
They're robots.
They're robots, exactly that. And then you started to see the rise of like the Rio Ferdinand's channel, Overlap, The Good, the Bad and the Football, even mine, where you get them into a bit more of a relaxed setting. You can have a laugh and you get to see their personality more. And there are some real belting footballers out there, honestly, real good lads, but when you stick a microphone in their face at the end of a game and they're just lost, they just want to go, yes, no, goodbye, I want to go home.
Yeah, and in fairness, then they are footballers. They're not there to entertain you in terms with a mic in front of their face. A lot of people panic with mics in front of their faces.
Yes, they do indeed.
So don't expect footballers to flourish.
Especially a Premier League footballer where, if you say one thing wrong, then you're going to get absolutely battered for it.
And we've seen that time and time again. I wonder how this will go then moving forward with Enzo Maresca at Manchester City. For the moment, what it sounds like, the journalists are going, okay, this is a nice environment.
Yeah.
But it's very different to the ship that Pep ran.
Yeah, if they don't get off to a good start this season, I guarantee you won't be seeing all these interviews flying about and the access will be taken away very quickly, I promise you.
Very good point. Don't forget, this Sunday we'll be bringing you live commentary of the Community Shield between Arsenal and Manchester City, live from the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. Kick-off at 3 o'clock on talkSPORT for that one. It's Shebahn Aherne and Ben Foster in for White and Jordan on talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
I've been watching Chelsea pre-season. I'm making a statement now. There is no reason why Chelsea cannot win this title. In fact, I'm going to say it. Chelsea win the title.
Oh!
Chelsea win the title. There is something about Chelsea. There is something about what we have got a cheat code. I'm not proud to say this, but we can go and win the title for a number of reasons. One, have you seen our front three? João Pedro, Morgan Rogers and Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer's at a rest. He's been absolutely flogged. João Pedro's had a rest. Our midfield, the recruitment at the back, looks like almost certainly we're going to be playing a three at the back with someone called Xabi Alonso that knows how to win a title. One game a week We saw how beneficial that can be when Conte took over Chelsea. Went to 3 at the back. Chelsea win the title. History is going to repeat itself. No, I never go out on a limb and talk like this about Chelsea. I said Arsenal win the title for the last 3 seasons, and eventually they did. I'm going Chelsea. You Gooners, you should be fearful of Chelsea. Yes, you're favourites, and I get it. And you've got an unbelievable team, and you've proven why you're the title holders, because you deserve it. But I've got to tell you, there's a cheat code, and that cheat code is Chelsea playing 1 game a week, and we have a manager in Xabi Alonso who knows how to win a title. There are only 2 managers that can win this title, that have won a title in the past, and that's Xabi Alonso and Mikel Arteta. Liverpool, new manager. Andoni Iraola doesn't know how to win a title. Spurs, De Zerbi. What's De Zerbi won? What's he won? Where's the noise?
He's annoyed. Here we go. Here we go.
There you go. Carrick. What's he won? There you go.
There we go.
talkSPORT Sports Update with NordVPN. Avoid scams, phishing and malware with our most advanced VPN. Now with built-in next-gen antivirus.
Good afternoon, I'm Max Scott here with your sports headlines. A Marc Cucurella replacement is on his way to Chelsea. His name's Pep Chavaria and he's cost £17 million from Rayo Vallecano. So does this mean Miles Lewis-Skelly is now less likely to move from red to blue? Well, Ben Foster says the 19-year-old should be seen as irreplaceable for the Arsenal.
If you can trust a 19-year-old to play in a Champions League final against PSG and be confident and comfortable to get on the ball and drive past people and get your head up, you've got to keep older players out.
As for Chelsea, our senior transfer correspondent Ben Jacobs says their window will now all be about outgoings.
Napoli are interested in Benoit Badiashile. Mikhailo Mudryk likely needs to go on loan somewhere. There's Premier League interest and also from Strasbourg. They need to resolve the future of Enzo Fernandez sooner rather than later with Manchester City interest. Plus, of course, 2 strikers need to leave.
Manchester City have signed goalkeeper Geronimo Rulli from Marseille. The Argentina international joins Enzo Maresca's side on a 2-year contract, while Ipswich have agreed a fee for Julio Enciso in a move driven by Gary O'Neill. And Unai Emery is confident that Aston Villa can give European champions PSG a scare in tonight's Super Cup clash in Salzburg. Key players Ollie Watkins, Ezri Konsa and Emi Martinez haven't made the trip to Austria after getting into the final stages of this summer's World Cup. But Emery says his Europa League holders will still be competitive.
We are preparing this game with the players we started, even some young players, 4 weeks ago. I expect to compete and to try to face them with our capacity and our possibilities as well to beat them. Of course, they are favourite.
Live coverage of the Super Cup final between those 2 huge clubs will begin on talkSPORT at 7 p.m.
talkSPORT News.
Prime Minister's considering a ban on disposable barbecues to prevent wildfires, and another 13 migrant hotels have closed as the government look to use more basic sites. Sinead's got more in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Sort your new tyres this summer at a time that suits you best from the comfort of your home or work 7 days a week with our mobile tyre fitting service. Conditions apply.
Sunny and dry for much of the country as we're into the 5th heat wave of the year. Some cloudy spells, though, in the northwest.
Good afternoon. How are you getting on this Wednesday? You're listening to talkSPORT. It's Shebahn Aherne and Ben Foster, former Manchester United goalkeeper, in for White and Jordan. Good news. Simon is back on Monday alongside Martin Keown and the legendary Jim White as well. Back to normal. That's when we know we're getting back to normality.
Yeah, when the big boys are come back.
When the big boys are back to play.
When the substitutes, the Joeys, aren't here anymore.
Yeah, it was fun while it lasted. Oh, look, we've got an audience with us today. Hi, everyone, through the glass. Good to see you. They're all fake waving. Hi, good to see you. They're there, Ben. They're there.
Oh, what? I thought you were talking about the telly.
He's waved to the TV.
All right, guys, okay. No.
Max Scott just read the news with us, and he was on earlier on this morning with Alan Brazil and Gabby Agbon Lahore. He has a new podcast with Ollie Klink called No BS, right? No Big Six. The two guys, Max a Forest fan, Ollie's a Newcastle fan, speak for a lot of our listeners when they say that they don't want to hear about the Big Six anymore. They want a lot of focus on those clubs that don't get recognised as much. So anyway, Alan Brazil and Gabby asked them to give him his 10 biggest clubs in the UK.
How can Spurs be a Big Six club after back-to-back 17th places and winning a domestic trophy in 2008? Manchester United and Liverpool are clearly the biggest clubs. Like, it's as simple as that. 20 league titles, multiple European Cups, particularly Liverpool. Celtic are number 3 for me. 56 league titles, absolutely massive fan base, you know, the most passionate, I think you could argue. And they've obviously won a European Cup. Arsenal are 4th, 14 league titles. I'm putting Forest after that. Brian Clough is arguably the greatest manager of all time, alongside Sir Alex Ferguson. Then I'm going Villa at 6, huge fan base. 7, Everton. 8, Newcastle. 9, Rangers. 10, Manchester City.
The thoughts of Max Scott there, and when he came into the studio, Ben swore at him. Said, you were the guy this morning who came out with that.
Miles off it. What's his name? Sorry,
Max Scott.
Max Scott.
Remember the name?
Miles off it. Listen, right. This list that we're trying to 1 to 10, it is without doubt one of the most subjective lists that you will ever put together and compile. Right. So it's really, really hard, and you're going to upset so many fans of big clubs by your order of how you do it as well.
But you can't go wrong with facts, Ben. And Max has brought his receipts. So he's gone for why he's compiled his top 10 list is because of European titles, fan bases, history, stories that live in the minds of football fans worldwide. And that's why he's got this top 10.
Yes, again, though, that's exactly what I'm talking about, subjective, right? So his reasoning for why he thinks that's the top 10 is based on European trophies from 30, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, right? In the modern day of football, that doesn't carry any weight, does it? It doesn't. You know, if you...
Does it not?
If you... no, I'm so right. If you're a player looking to sign for a new club, you're not going to sign for Notts Forest because they won the European Cup 50 years ago. You're not, right? You're going to go for one of the big boys, which would be Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, right? You're going to pick one of them because... And I think now as well, it's actually... It's much for muchness between all of them teams, especially with the state of the Premier League and how competitive it is. I think you could get maybe one of the best players in the world. If any of them 5 teams come in for you, that player has got a serious decision to make because I don't think there's going to be one standout team anymore.
Okay. So where do you disagree? Manchester United, he's got his number 1, the biggest club.
I agree. I think
Fine.
Liverpool second. I agree.
Off to a good start then.
Yeah, off to a good start, Max. And this is where it goes a little bit south for me from Max because he put Celtic in at number 3.
Right.
And I wholeheartedly agree that Celtic and Rangers will be in the top 10 list. Okay, they will. I'm not trying to offend Scottish football fans here. They will be in the top 10. But in this day and age of what we're talking about right now, there are much bigger teams with a bigger global fan base. Might not have the the trophies and awards that they've won in their history, but they are, without doubt, and nobody can disagree with it, they're a bigger team.
Who has a bigger global fan base than Celtic? And they're third in that list. So Man United and Liverpool, I would agree.
Chelsea have got a bigger fan base
than Celtic.
Yes. Arsenal have got a bigger fan base.
Says who?
Right, I'll put it into ChatGPT this morning, all right? ChatGPT'd who's got the biggest fan base, basically, Chelsea or Celtic?
Yeah.
And it said that Chelsea's absolutely dwarf it. I don't know how there's any metric for this or how we can measure it, okay?
Right, but where's your common sense? where was the last place you went on holiday?
Glasgow.
Right, you're going to see more Celtic tops there.
I'm joking.
But wherever you go in the world, you will see Celtic tops. You ain't seen Chelsea tops.
Yeah, you will see Celtic tops. I'm not necessarily saying that they're going to be those sort of fans there, though. Like, we were in New York and there's like Irish bars, Celtic bars, Rangers bars all over the place. I totally agree with that.
No Chelsea
right?
bars.
I totally agree with that. But I just think global appeal... Get in the comments, everybody, right? If somebody can text in and try and give me some metric, there's somebody somewhere would have done an audit of this, wouldn't they? And they'll have actual fairly precise numbers. And I'd love to see that list if we can get it.
03717 223344. Now, I am a Celtic fan, but I also think I have a bit of cop on as well, that wherever you go, I would say Celtic is a bigger football club than Chelsea, especially being from that part of the world. Wherever you go, people will always bring up the conversation of Celtic and Rangers wherever you go, right? You're not going to go, a guy from London going on his holiday, it's like, oh, Chelsea fan? It just doesn't come up quite like that.
I
think
understand
the
it.
conversation means part of it as well is that these clubs are bigger. I'm not saying Rangers are bigger than Chelsea. I think they're probably on a par. Celtic,
are you happy with Celtic in at third then?
At number 3,
Are you?
You're seeing Arsenal tops all over the gaff at the minute because they won the league.
Do you agree with Max's metric then of how he measures it? So having Forest in there as well?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I would have Forest at 5.
When you said yeah, then you went, yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I would have them in the top 10, like you would say. But I think I would have maybe Man City a bit further up. In this day and age, I would have Man City further up. He's got them at 10.
Would you still put Villa in there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Leeds, would you put Leeds in there? Spurs?
Leeds are a huge club, but I can understand why now maybe players wouldn't be going, oh, I have to get to Leeds, unless they have an upbringing or don't turn this on me, by the way.
I'm trying to just back my corner a little bit, but I think it's basically, again, it goes back to subjectiveness. It's whatever your metric for measuring a big club is.
But you have mugged off Scottish football before.
Chance,
Ben, you have.
No chance.
You don't see Scottish football as an attractive place to be.
I would still put Celtic and Rangers in the top 10 ahead of some very big Premier League teams.
Ahead of who?
I'd put them ahead of Newcastle. I'd put them ahead of Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
and Spurs didn't even make his list.
But I would not put them ahead of Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City. I wouldn't. So I would probably have Rangers and Celtic at the lower end of the top 10, but massive football clubs, massive fan bases. So they deserve a place in the top 10.
Go on then. Start number 10. What's on your list? You got a 10 yet?
No, I've got a vague list.
Wrexham.
Wrexham, yeah, I'd put Wrexham in ahead.
By the way,
of,
they're a huge club now. Everyone's talking about blooming Wrexham.
Mate, talking about global reach and global fan base, honestly,
Shove Wrexham in there.
They'll be right up there, honestly.
Bigger than Rangers.
No,
I'm kidding. Don't panic.
All right, should we go number 1 onwards, right?
No, I'd go 10 back.
Oh, I haven't done the 1 to 10. I've done it the other way, right?
Yeah, go on 1 then.
Right, let's go. Obviously, Man United then.
Right.
Well done, Max. And Liverpool, number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'd go for Arsenal.
Arsenal, right.
Then I'd go for Man City.
At 4?
Then I'd go for Chelsea. But my metric for bigger clubs is different to yours. My metric is what is the most appealing to a player now with a chance of 1, earnings, and 2, winning something.
But the conversation is what is the bigger club?
Again, my metric's different to Max's.
But Manchester City, you cannot say that they are a bigger club.
Right? In your opinion,
history is everything.
Right,
history is why you are where you are.
If there's a
you
big
can't
player,
disregard that. You can't.
If there's a big player coming over to play football in the United Kingdom, who is he going to pick between Man City and Celtic?
He's going to go to Man City, but that's money. We know that.
Is it money, or is it the chance that he's going to be winning things and playing in Champions League and possibly winning things?
He'll go to Celtic and he'll win things, and he'll go to Celtic and he'll probably get Champions League football.
Yes.
But he's not going to get 100 million.
No, but he might win something at Man City as well, though.
Yeah,
he might win the Premier League and he might win Champions League. He might. All these things factor into it. And I think that is my metric nowadays.
I'd say that's a money choice. Obviously, if Celtic were in the Premier League and had the bucks that Man City had, people would choose Celtic over Man City all day long.
If you put Celtic into the Premier League and give them a proper chance, Celtic and Rangers a proper chance in the Premier League, they would be right up there. And then we'd have a different conversation then as well.
Okay.
Genuine different conversation, because they'd be a proper threat, they would.
Okay, so we've got Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea.
Yes.
So you've got 5 on the list. What's number 6? Yeah, it's number 6.
And then I'm going to go for Villa.
Right. So you agree on that with Max, yeah? Yeah.
And then I'm going to go for Celtic, Rangers, whatever order you want.
So Celtic obviously higher.
Is that 7 and 8?
Yeah.
No, Rangers just higher. Put Rangers just higher.
Rangers and Celtic, right? Okay, so you've got 7, 8, and then...
And then we've got 9 and 10, and then it's kind of, you can take your pick from that point onwards, really.
But I have to say, it's kind of rumbled on, this conversation. It was a bit of a meltdown when they had this chat today. Again, you've not got Spurs in there.
I think they just miss out on the top 10. I do. I think there's there's teams probably just bigger. They're about there-ish, though. They are. They're about. I think once you get past the 8, you're probably into much for muchness.
You putting Everton bigger than Spurs?
No, I don't think so. Okay. I don't think so. And that's taking everything into...
Forest bigger than Spurs?
No chance. And I know Spurs have finished 17th in the Premier League the last 2 seasons, but their appeal in this day and age and the amount that they can go and spend, what we've just seen, that their resources are bigger than Everton's, they're bigger than Forest. That's why I think the metric is, in my head, that's what it is.
Who else is bigger than Spurs?
I don't think there's many, honestly. I don't think Newcastle and Tottenham would be a very good argument. Newcastle and Spurs. Probably Spurs. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, you know. I really don't know.
You panicked there.
I would love to see somebody else's list here.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, it's all very subjective. It's all everybody's opinions. There's obviously going to be loyalty and bias in there as well.
Yeah. I don't think I'm a million miles off there, though. I don't think I'm a million miles off. I think the top 6, 7-ish pick themselves, 8-ish pick themselves in some sort of an order. And there'll be Chelsea fans going, how dare you put us 5th? And Man City saying, we've won this, that, whatever. And I get that. Totally agree. I just think where we stand right now, that's maybe about the order.
All right. Well, I think the calls are coming in this, Dan. Can we take some calls on this? 03717223344. A lot of you want to have your say on this morning. The biggest clubs. I have Celtic in there at number 3, the way Max did. But Ben has them down below Rangers in either 7th or 8th, which is, he's wrong. He's wrong on that. A bit of breaking news, by the way. talkSPORT understands that Barca have made an offer worth a guaranteed 60 million euros for Rodri.
Oh, it's a problem if he goes, honestly. That's a massive problem if he goes. I'd hate to see him leave Man City. I really would. I love Rodri.
I know. That's euros. I think they value him at 65 million as well.
He's only got a year left on his contract, though.
Yeah, looks like they're making moves there. Don't forget, talkSPORT's brand new podcast, No BS, aka No Big Six, is available now on all podcast platforms. You can listen to it for free, by the way, on the talkSPORT app with Max Scott and Ollie Klink. The next episode will be out this Saturday, so do not miss a thing. You're listening to Shebahn Aherne and Ben Foster in for White and Jordan here on talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
We don't know. Because, do you know what I'm not buying, Gabby? I'm not buying this whole, Victor would have been a problem. I don't know if he would have been Vinny would have taken the number 7 shirt, would he?
No.
We don't know.
I don't think that, but like Vinny Jr.'s character, like he's coming to Arsenal, he wants Ballon d'Ors, do you know what I mean? Like,
what's wrong with that?
No, but I'm saying, and also, he's coming in on a lot more money than other players. If you're Saka and Rice and Ryan and Gabriel and Saliba, and he's coming in, triple what you're earning,
massive causes.
Well, if you've won a couple of Champions Leagues, right, and the league is running out your ears, then
as far as the other players are concerned, that doesn't matter.
Why not? Why does that not matter?
They're the players who just won you the Premier League.
But that's the player. But that's the marquee signing. Bruno G cannot be our marquee signing. He can't. We need a statement signing. That's what I would like.
You don't need a statement signing. You don't need any particular signing. You'll win this Premier League without it. And people will say, strengthen from a position of strength. Well, just ask Liverpool fans what happened when they won the league, and they strengthened with people like Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz.
Do you know what my issue is? Is that I do think we're going to win the league this year, and I think we're stronger. But I think of the fact that when you're in these kind of positions, like a Man City were when they first won the league, when they beat United on goal difference, you have to capitalise. You have to know that your future depends on this 2, 3, 4 year period.
Good afternoon. How are you doing today? It's Wednesday, the 12th of August. It's Eclipse Day, by the way. More on that a little bit later on. It's Shebahn Aherne and Ben Foster in for White and Jordan today. If you missed this earlier on this morning, Max Scott, our resident Forest fan and broadcaster here at talkSPORT, had thrown out the top 10 and what his opinion was the biggest clubs in Britain. And out they went. In there at number 3, he put Celtic, behind Man United in first and Liverpool in second. And his list went on in there. He had Forest in 5th. He is a Forest fan. He had Everton in 7th, Rangers in 9th, Man City in 10th. And the place went into meltdown. We've had that conversation with Ben. He called you an unsavoury name, Max, when you came in. Max is with us now. Max, did you expect the response you've had from your list?
I'll be honest, I don't care about the response. Ben's absolutely right. It's an incredibly subjective thing. But what amazes me is the delusions of grandeur of Spurs and Chelsea fans who seem to think that the world revolves around them. And you look at Chelsea, who were only able to become the club they are today and have the global reach that they have and the money that they have today. Pay their season ticket prices to watch their football clubs and think there should be an asterisk next to that success. There's no doubt Chelsea's a big club, but it's not bigger than Everton, Newcastle, Forest, Villa, not a shadow of a doubt.
Okay.
And one more thing I'll say, actually. Pete, I heard you earlier, Ben, sort of waffling a little bit, sort of talking about in the modern day and about history. Well, just because Forest did what they did in 79 and 80 doesn't make it any less relevant. Winston Churchill won the war back in the 30s and 40s. It's still an important part of history.
Yeah, I totally agree. But half the people alive today won't remember that Nottingham Forest European victory. And I get what you're saying. And
was it not the greatest miraculous story in football history?
It was fantastic. And I like everybody having an opinion on it. I really do. My opinion is just slightly different to yours. My metric for measuring what is a big team is slightly different.
Is it money?
It's definitely a factor. It has to come into it.
It has to come into it.
And the appeal, global reach and appeal.
I think it comes into it, but I also think that's a shallow view of football if all you see is the dollar signs, because even outside of the Premier League, Sheffield Wednesday, massive club.
Yep.
Birmingham, massive club. And there's tons of them in the EFL, and just because they don't have the money right now in this short period of time where you and I are gracing this earth with our presence doesn't mean that they're not important.
But surely it always has to be just based on the here and now. Surely, I think it's like an ever-changing, ever-evolving list, right? It has to be, and I think that's why I will always base it on just the here and now, mate.
Okay, and that is what a lot of people would do as well. I'm more of the sense like your history is why you are where you are, and you never can let go of that unless you really, really want to. But I think when you're a fan of a football club, you'll always count their history. Always.
Can we get some calls on it?
Yes, 03717 223344. Max, you can stay with us for this as well, because a lot of people want to hand you your backside live on air. We've got Craig, the Derby County fan, with us now. Craig, good afternoon. How you doing?
Hello, guys.
Craig, go on. What do you want to say?
Great show. I don't want to start with the Derby County links. Come on, it's not sour grapes or bitter in the throat like that.
Mm-hmm.
The main fact is you've won what you've won. Forest have done, yeah, but they won it in a 3-year period. They've won hardly anything before, hardly anything after, no relevance until recently, and it's. I hear it from everybody around me and all this lot. Forest this, Forest that.
Is that because you're surrounded by Forest fans?
Yeah, unfortunately, I live in Mansfield, so yeah, unfortunately I am. But yeah, you've won one league title. It's one major league
and just to remind you, that was the year after we got promoted from the second division, and then the 2 years after that we won 2 European Cups, back when it was knockout football and you played against bona fide champions and it wasn't this long drawn out money making league phase. And so I think that counts for something. I take your point. You know, Forest haven't won as many titles as clubs like Arsenal, for example, or clubs like Spurs. I get that, but in terms of the way that it lives in the memory of people that know and love football and the reverberations around the world, you cannot compare any other story in football in history to that of Brian Clough and his miracle men.
Craig, great call. Thank you very much. Cam,
that's a full-on nibble, by the way. Honestly, Max, you have just nibbled like you wouldn't believe. I'm loving the passion, though. I do. I love the passion. This is why this will rumble on for a long time, because
really
people are passionate about their team.
Yeah, rightly so.
We've opened a can of worms. We've got Cameron, the Spurs fan, who's probably been on tenterhooks waiting to get a hold of you since early on this morning. Cameron, you've got Max Scott now. They didn't make his top 10. Do you agree with that?
I'm fuming with that, Max, I tell you. Fuming with him. Ben, absolutely love you, mate. Think you're brilliant.
Thank you.
Which is ironic coming from a Spurs fan. But anyways, I think if you're talking about history, let's have a look at Tottenham's history. I think we were the first English club to win a European trophy.
What European trophy was it? Okay, Cup Winners' Cup.
The Cup Winners' Cup in 62-63.
Yeah,
a
big
5-1
trophy.
victory against Atletico Madrid. But so you're talking about history again. You know, the only non-league team to win the FA Cup. So you can't compare us with Forest.
I agree. Incomparable. No other story like Forest. You can't compare Spurs to Forest.
No, there is no comparison. But as I say, it's such a much bigger club in all aspects.
Can I say, Cameron, I don't think Spurs are a small club, by the way. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I take Ben's point, this is subjective. But for me, I think that there are elements within the Spurs fan base where they look at, it's like me looking in the mirror and seeing AJ and thinking that AJ's staring back at me. Do you know what I mean? It's just not the case as much as I want to think it. And Spurs are a big club. The stadium's fantastic. By the way, I love what Roberto De Zerbi is doing. I think pulling the clubs up by their bootstraps. But yes, there's a decent sized fan base in an amazing stadium, but your last domestic trophy was in 2008, and I know that's much closer to when Forest won anything. But I do think that European trophies, as in the big dog, the big ears, I think that counts for something. For me,
Cameron,
Spurs don't live there.
Where would Cameron? Where would Tottenham be in that list, that top 10 list?
So I'm not. I'm not foolish. We are the third biggest club in London, behind Arsenal and Chelsea. I mean, look at it. We are the sixth biggest club in Britain, and that's only because of City's resurgence, or we were big in the City. And also, you have to look at it from this way. Until the last decade, there was only 2 clubs that won the trophy in every single decade.
Cameron, you're breaking up a wee bit, but you've put Spurs into that list, kind of sixth in there as well.
Good call, good conversation though. I like it. I like
Exactly.
the tone of the discussion.
But also, he's saying as well, Max, I mean, your history is everything to you. You can't discard what Spurs have
Spurs
won
are a big
in the
club.
past.
Spurs are a big club.
They are.
They're not in the top 10 in my humble opinion.
I love this.
Are they in your top 10?
They're on
didn't
the
make
cusp.
it. They
They're on the
didn't.
cusp. They're on. I don't think I said my 9th and 10th, did I?
You didn't.
I think there's a 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 are probably about similar.
Yeah, great conversation though. Thanks for breaking the internet this morning, Max.
Pleasure.
You've earned your wage, that's for sure. Stay with us. You're listening to talkSPORT. It's Shebahn Aherne and Ben Foster, and for Jim White and Simon Jordan on talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
Max Dowman could be like having a new player.
What's that?
Because surely this has to
And
be
how many
a season.
players playing this side, by the way?
Yeah.
Tell me how many players are out there on that side where Downman was playing on the right a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they are just stacked, caked out wide.
Do you back Dowman to have? I mean, I think it was his breakthrough season last season, but he was
The
in
15th
and out.
breakthrough.
Yeah, I know, it's absolutely mad. But do you think that this could be a season where he's regularly starting and making a regular difference?
I think he's a special talent. I think he's at the right club. I think Arteta will, they'll have a lot of games this year, and they've obviously, Champions League as usual. You'll see him more this season than last season. That kid is a star in the making, and he looks like he's made of the right stuff, and he's very exciting every time you watch him. So when you see players like him in Rio at Liverpool, the future's very bright for the English national team, right?
Without a doubt. I think that come January, Arsenal fans might be looking back at the Vinicius Junior story and thinking, we didn't need him because look at what Max Dowman's doing in the Premier League. And I'm not comparing him to Vinicius Junior before people shoot me down. What I'm saying is that in Max Dowman, you have the potential of a world-class talent. And if you continue to nurture him and release the handbrake on the minutes and on the game time, and I know you're protecting him as a young player, but if you do want to play a slightly more attacking, entertaining brand of football, then Max Dowman is the man to hang your hat on because he's something special.
No, I love the look of him, but let's not kill the kid either and put too much on him at 15, 16. But they're stacked. I mean, I know everyone's worried about the left side, Martinelli, obviously Trossard's now gone and all those things, but I still look across their forward line and go, Arsenal could win the league again with what they've got.
talkSPORT News.
Good afternoon. With your headlines, I'm Sinead Garvan. In the last few minutes, serial sex attacker Simon Levy has been given a whole life order for murdering 2 women and raping a third last year. The 40-year-old committed his crimes while on bail for a series of other assaults. Elsewhere today, the Prime Minister says he could ban disposable barbecues ahead of an emergency Cobra meeting about how the UK is responding to the extreme heat. It comes as the Fire Brigade Union says 185 wildfires have been tackled so far in England and Wales this month. Steve Wright is from the union.
This is not a one-off any longer. We are facing more and more wildfires across the UK. We need a national strategy to deal with this, but we also need more firefighters.
Another 13 migrant hotels have been closed. It's as the government looked to use more basic sites, including former military barracks. Anna Turley is the Border Security Minister.
That's at 44 that we've closed so far this year. We're saving the public now over £1 billion on hotel use since the election.
Well, it comes as Andy Burnham said middle-class families must play their part by accepting migrant housing near where they live. They shouldn't always be in the poorest areas. And queues have formed around the UK as people rush to get special glasses to view this evening's solar eclipse. Many retailers have sold out over the past month. It will be the country's fullest eclipse for the next 54 years.
talkSPORT Sports Headlines with Bostik. For professional grade sealants with easy application and a perfect finish, pros trust Bostik.
Chelsea have replaced Marc Cucurella, but we're told they'll have to start selling soon. Max is back at 1.
How's it going this morning? This afternoon, actually. You're listening to talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and Ben Foster in for White and Jordan, Wednesday the 12th of August. Did you hear that eclipse chat?
No.
So this will be tonight, first time in 27 years. We won't see one for another 54 years. So you have to watch it, Ben.
54, be 101.
Gone, pal.
No chance, mate. I'll still be
You're
here.
long gone.
100% I'll be here.
Till 101?
No, I don't know if I'd want to.
There's a lovely thought. 03717 223344. This biggest club in Britain's rumbling on. Everybody's having their say in this. You used to play for Birmingham, Ben Foster. We've got Daniel, the Birmingham City fan, with us now. 03717 223344 is the number. Daniel, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you guys? You all right?
All right, Daniel.
Thank you. We're very, very good. Is it true that you want to throw Birmingham into the top 10?
Of course I do, mate. And Ben, you should know better, mate. You played for us and won us the cup, mate. You out-sing Arsenal, out-fan them.
I ain't putting Birmingham. I love Birmingham. Birmingham's got a special little place in my heart. All right, they just miss out on the top 10 for me. All right, I'll probably put them 11th actually. Okay.
Oh, you fool off, men.
We've got a bigger fan base than Villa, mate. 100%.
You're not wrong, mate. You're not wrong. Go on, the Blues.
There's no team in the UK called London FC. Which is Birmingham City, second biggest city in the United Kingdom. Once we get this stadium built, this chimney stadium that everybody going on about, you're going to watch us, bro, mate. Blow up. We're going to blow up, mate.
I'm with you, Daniel. I think you've got a point, mate. I think I'm going to have to rearrange my list and put them in there.
Yeah, very good point, Daniel. Listen, thank you very much for your call. Just to the other side, though, of Birmingham, where there's a big competition happening tonight for Aston Villa. It's the European champions face each other this evening live on talkSPORT. Aston Villa and PSG face off in the Super Cup. Villa boss Unai Emery answered the media's questions ahead of the game, and it's safe to say he's very happy with the club's progression. Unai? Unai, you there?
Come on.
Unai. Oh, he's not there. We'll get it at some point a little bit later.
You were about to go from Birmingham City fans saying they're one of the biggest top 10 teams to the Villa correspondent to talk about Villa playing in the European Super Cup.
We will hear from Unai a little bit later, but let's bring on our guest who's out there actually in Salzburg for the game, Villa fan and broadcaster Dan Bardell. Hello, Dan.
Hello, you both okay?
Good, thanks. We're good. At least your club made it to the top 10 on everybody's books today. It seems to have made it in there. How's prep going for this one, Dan?
Yeah, good. I'm surprised Ben managed to keep a straight face with that last quarter. His nose was growing a little bit with some of the stuff he was saying. I think, obviously, whilst they're trying to shoehorn themselves in the top 10, we're actually at a European final. So yeah, it's been good so far. Villa fans everywhere, PSG fans everywhere. Not massively confident for the game this evening, to be honest, but it's a good atmosphere.
Max, give it a few years, mate. Wrexham, Birmingham City. You just wait, mate. All right, you just wait.
No problem with Wrexham. Wrexham can come up. I've got a lot of time for Wrexham, but I'll be quite happy if Birmingham never ever played against Villa again, to be honest.
Yeah. Dan, talk to us, about tonight. Apparently there's a little bit of an injury doubt for some of your key players. So where's your concern there? And do you actually come into this game thinking we've got a shot to win another trophy?
Obviously, you've always got a chance, but it's one of those nights where PSG would have to probably be at one of their kind of worst levels, and Villa would have to be at their absolute optimum. And with the change in the summer, the churn, the players that we've got missing tonight, I think it's a massive asset to try and bring that trophy home. I think we're a little bit undercooked, and the fact that where this game is taking place in terms of the calendar, I don't think it suits us because a lot of our business will have to be done at the end of the window. So I think it's a huge ask, but you do never know. And look, Unai Emery will want to win it. He'll want to win another European trophy. That's what he does.
Max, Villa got a lot of players missing tonight.
That's Dan.
Sorry, Dan. Sorry, Dan.
Dan, you can't get the staff.
Sorry, Dan.
He's okay.
Villa got a lot of players missing tonight. Who's going to be the biggest miss for you? But for me, every time Emi Martinez doesn't play, I worry for Villa because I feel he just offers that much calmness throughout the team, authority. But they've got some real big boys missing tonight, haven't they?
Yeah, look, Martinez is a winner. Like you'd rather have him in tonight than not. He's like a completely able deputy, but there is a drop off when he goes in goal, as there normally is when the number 2 keeper comes in. I think at the other end of the pitch is where I'm worried because Tammy Abraham's played 30 minutes in pre-season. I don't think Emery particularly fancies him. And then the other option's a 17-year-old striker who looks really exciting. He's an absolute monster, but it's, again, a big ask for him to come in and play against the best team in Europe. So I think actually Watkins is probably the bigger miss. I'm disappointed those players aren't playing. Like, I understand that players play a lot of football, they need a rest, but the PSG players are in a similar situation and they're here. Like, I don't think we're in a strong enough position to be leaving those 3 players at home. Like, I'd much rather they were involved tonight and they give us a massively better chance of winning.
Okay, stay with us there just now, Dan, and let's hear from the manager, Unai Emery.
since I arrived here 4 years more or less, and of course I am so happy how we are responding, how the players are responding, how the club, how the supporters, how we are building everything, how we are trying to develop.
They were such a force last season. Unai Emery, we know, he's the serial winner in the competition. He won it again, the Europa League. Where do you kick on now, and what's the ambition for you this season, Dan?
I think it's going to be very difficult. It's difficult to gauge where we're at until the transfer window finishes. But Unai Emery will always get you somewhere near where you need to be. Like whatever happens, if there's a little bit of adversity, Unai Emery always reacts in the right way and doesn't make excuses, he doesn't complain. So I think we'll be somewhere near where we need to be, which is the top 5 and trying to win another trophy. But I do think this Premier League season, it's the first one for a long time where I think it's geared up for the so-called Big Six to be the top 6. The transfer business, they're all doing the money they can spend. Villa can't spend that kind of money. And when you want to kick on and you want to progress, it's very difficult for us because even to stand still is hard with the financial constraints. So top 7, I think, is the minimum, and trying to win something again, because once you've won one trophy, you want to go on and try and build and win another one. And the Villa fans would love to win a domestic cup, to be honest, because it's been a long time since that happened as well.
Dan, what's the general feel with Villa fans? Obviously, Aherne, big injury, out for a good few months now. Tielemans going, Morgan Rogers going. Does it deflate Villa fans a little bit to be losing these players?
You'll probably know that. As Brumbies, we're quite miserable anyway. Like, I'm a pretty miserable guy. Generally, I don't think the accent helps. But actually, I do think the Villa fans are reacting in quite a positive way, because they know the superstar's the manager. If we lost him, that's when I'd start to worry. But it's going to be a bit of a transitional season. I think we're going to be in a little bit of a state of flux at the start of the season. But eventually, I think we started badly last season, really badly, and it all clicked into place, and we achieved what we wanted to achieve. So we're going to have to do business. We're going to have to bring some strength and depth into that squad, because it's very difficult going in the Premier League and the Champions League. On Thursday nights in the Europa League, we could afford to make changes last season. When you're in the Champions League, you won't be able to do that without the depth and the quality.
Dan, final question before you go. You said when you first started that you would not be bothered if you didn't play Birmingham City ever again. Do you mean that genuinely? Because I've played in those derbies. I've played for Blues against Villa, and honestly, like West Brom baggies against Wolves, like the derby games are the games that mean the most. Would you not like to play them genuinely?
I'm quite settled with Villa being the biggest team in the Midlands. So when the others are out of the way, I quite enjoy it, because there's nothing for Villa to gain. Because if you win, it's almost expected. If you lose, it's an absolute disaster. Like, I remember Villa losing to you both for West Brom and Birmingham City, Ben, and their fans treat it like it's the best day of their lives. And I vaguely remember you tweeting something. I could be wrong here. I thought it was you. I vaguely remember a tweet from you back in the day as well. So I just don't think there's anything for Villa to gain with it, to be perfectly honest.
It might have been that League Cup quarter-final one. You remember the one at Birmingham? It was like -5 or something like that. Knocked you out, and then we beat West Ham. Still the only, between us two anyway, the only Midlands team to have won a domestic trophy.
Well, the good news is we're now officially like the last team in the Midlands to win their trophy, full stop. So the Birmingham City fans had that over us, so they haven't got that anymore.
Dan, give us a big up the Villa before you go loud as you can. I mean, I know you're sitting in a wee quiet street in Salisbury. Go on then.
I'm in the civilised bit, but
go on.
The Villa.
No, it has to be louder. That was weak.
That was really loud.
That was wet.
Really loud.
Dan, don't.
All right,
go on.
I'll do that. The Villa.
Bit better than
there
that.
We go.
Right, Red, look at me.
Shebahn, appreciate it.
Dan, good to speak to you again. Or Max, we'll call you Max Bardell. Aston Villa fan with us here on talkSPORT. Aston Villa's Super Cup tie against the mighty PSG is live on talkSPORT tonight, 7 o'clock. Looking forward to that. You're listening to Shebahn Aherne and Ben Foster in for White and Jordan today here on talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
going on, mate? You got
Big
Champions
players
League
come to big
football.
football
You're
clubs.
selling your best players. Absolute shambles.
The financial fair play rule.
No, bore off.
Can we?
No, you're not Spurs.
Can we put some concerts in your stadium?
Well, look, you dig me out all the time last season about Spurs and Beyonce this and Beyonce that.
Now it's helped you?
Yeah, mate, we got the money. We got the cash.
Yeah.
Don't make me laugh. You're selling Morgan Rogers.
We got no choice.
70 mil.
We got no choice.
You got Champions League football.
What can you do, though, if the rules say you have to sell? Do you know what I mean? You have to sell?
You should be banned from the Champions League.
Okay, but
You should be banned.
Okay.
You sold Tillmans. You sold Morgan Rogers. Constance wants to leave. You can't sell your three best players and then expect to be in the Champions League. You should be kicked out.
We've signed some very good players as well. Manzambi from what's funny? Manzambi, star, Swiss international at 20 years of age.
Yeah.
We've signed João Gomez from Wolves. Scored a fantastic goal the other night against Bayern Munich. He toe-poked it, Jamie, into the corner. It was fantastic.
Come on, mate.
Garnacho as well, point to prove.
Oh, do me a favour.
So, mate, we'll be all right. We'll be all right, man.
Garnacho.
We've got the best manager in the league.
No, I love Emery. But if you ain't careful, he'll leave.
Really?
Yeah, he'll leave.
Why?
Because he wants to win.
We won last season.
Yeah, I know, but
Got
then
the
you've
league.
sold your best players.
He'll understand the frustrating rules.
Mate,
He's
come
got
on.
owners. that wanna
Eventually,
spend.
he'll go, what like Eddie Howe's done with Newcastle, we go, no, I've had enough.
Isn't that what you want? And you're like your mob and like this so-called top six they call. You want that, don't
big
you?
six.
You
Big
don't.
six.
You
Not
don't
top
want.
six, big six.
But you don't want Villa and Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? Being a bit of a pain, do you? You want like you can't.
Oh,
spend.
yeah, keep you there. Keep you there.
Nothing I can say, a total eclipse of the heart.
Go on, Ben Foster.
I've got the worst singing voice you've
Is it bad?
Singing and dancing is not made for me.
Oh, that's a shame.
Awful.
At least you could play football,
Yeah.
cycle,
Yeah.
play golf.
Golf, yeah.
Yeah.
Golf. Just started playing paddle a bit as well, you know.
Oh, there you go.
I've jumped on the bandwagon like you would not believe, and I've battered my mate for playing it and saying, "Shut up about paddle all the time, would you? It's not that. It's not that." And it was incredible. We played it in Philadelphia last week. What a game!
Do you know paddle instantly becomes addictive a bit like golf,
Exactly
doesn't it?
that.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Gabby's really good.
Well, apparently, I'm not having he's going to be the most mobile player that you've ever seen. But, you know.
But it's quite
like Jan Molby back in his pomp for Liverpool.
It is quite the court's manageable.
Yeah.
Even I could run from side to side on that.
Yeah, and there's loads of tactics as well, and loads of different stuff. You got to put backspin on everything. And I've been watching like my Instagram feed now. It's just blue courts of paddle, people playing paddle.
Are you on the app?
Playtomic, is it? Playtonic or something like that?
Yeah. Not to be confused with Tinder. Not that app, Ben.
I don't know what that is.
Playtonic, and is it paddle tonic? Is it not paddle tonic?
Playtomic.
And then you can match with people in your area to play paddle in your
Yeah, Playtomic, yeah. Got it there.
Game's gone, but fair enough if you're having a good time. Coming up tonight, by the way, for the first time in 27 years, there's going to be an eclipse. So you should get involved with this. Get in at your local supermarket, get the glasses to protect your eyes. And that was a bit of Bonnie Tyler, the late great Bonnie Tyler.
Yeah, good song, solid.
Great song. So are you getting up for it? The first time since 1999, and they're expecting it to be the last one in about 56 years. So we have to take it in while we can. Bit random, bit of fun. Do not miss the eclipse tonight. We've got an eclipse expert with us now. Emma Bell is with us, amateur astronomer. Emma, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm so excited for the eclipse. Thank you. How are you?
This is like your idea of Christmas.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. In the UK, there's not been an eclipse of this magnitude since 1999, as you've said, and there's not going to be another one this good till 2081. So you better get out and have a look.
Imabel, I've got some facts and figures. I've just typed it to Chat GPT. Is it true that when the eclipse happens this afternoon, that we could see a noticeable drop in temperature?
That might be true, yeah, because the sun, of course, is what's giving us all the heat. But it's not going. I don't think it's going to be that noticeable. But what will be noticeable is the drop in light levels.
So we're not going to have it like pitch black. It's not like going to be the light's going to. It's just we're going to see a shadow on the sun, right?
Yes, so it's gonna look like the moon is gonna move across the disk of the sun, and in the UK we're gonna get at least 90% of the sun's disk covered by the moon in the sky, which means we are gonna get a noticeable difference in the light levels. It will look like the moon has taken a massive bite out of the sun, but I would say the temperature levels you're not really gonna notice that much, to be honest, but it's the dark. It's going to get dark. The animals might get a little bit confused because they might think it's bedtime. And yeah, it's going to be really, really cool.
I can't wait for this. I mean, I remember, Emma, were you with us for like the one in 1999? Are you too young?
I was with us, but I cannot remember it.
Okay.
But I do hear it was cloudy anyway.
Are you going to be wearing the dark glasses?
Of course. So I've got some here.
Oh,
so they look like this. There you go.
Okay.
They're like the cinema. Do you remember the cinema 3D glasses?
We used to get them in the cereal as well, didn't we, for a while? Yeah. Emma, listen, thank you very much for this. What time is it going to happen in this part of the country?
So the partial will start at the very, very north east of the UK at about 6 p.m. In London, it'll be 6:17 p.m. and then the maximum in London will be at 7:12 p.m. So that's when the most of the sun will be eclipsed by the moon. But it's very important not to look. It's very important to get the glasses, make a pinhole projector, or go out into a big public area where an event might be taking place, and you can maybe see if anyone is going to let you use their solar telescope or something like that. Look for an Astro Society doing an event. Do not look at the sun with your eyes.
Here, by the way, sometimes when you say it, it's so tempting though. Like, let me just see if I could downstairs. Don't try that at home. Emma, thank you so much for coming on and enjoy your version of Christmas.
Thank you so much.
That's Emma Bell, astronomer, with us this afternoon, looking ahead to the eclipse tonight. So we've got about an hour to build up to it. 6:17 up until after 7 when the main bit of it will happen.
Barbecue, eclipse, Villa PSG.
Oh, yeah.
That'll do.
It's kind of perfect.
Yeah,
it's an ideal night for us. I remember being young in Ireland when the eclipse happened last time and actually having the wee glasses on and thinking I'm just going to have a wee peep, see if I can have a little look, see if it damages my eyes.
Oh gosh! Do you remember what was that? Oh, PJ and Duncan. What were they?
Ant and Dec.
Ant and Dec. Yeah, but what was the TV show called? Not Grange Hill.
Grange Hill.
No, it weren't Grange Hill.
It was.
What was the Geordie one? It was the
Bikers Grove.
Bikers Grove. Where he was. I'm blind.
Where were they from?
Oh god! Why, yeah, you man like I'm blind.
It was actually pretty good.
Biker Grove, Spuggy, that was it.
Yeah, so that's happening tonight. You can look out for that, literally, but just have the glasses. It's all fun and games until you're can't see. Okay, or you're blind. As Ben would say. Looking ahead to the game tonight, PSG, Aston Villa. How do you see this going, Ben?
I just think with the amount of players that Villa are going to be missing, I think it would probably be quite important to not just get pumped, to be perfectly honest with you. Simple as
That's
that.
a nice way.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of Blues fans, Birmingham City fans out there tonight thinking, come on, PSG, turn up tonight.
And then obviously the pre-season friendly we spoke about earlier on.
Oh, spicy one.
Man United Leeds.
I want football to be the winner. I want everybody to get through it, fit as a fiddle, raring to go, ready for the new season. Man United 3-0.
No, geez. Okay, we'll absolutely take that. And then next time we see you, we want to see you respect Celtic and Rangers a little bit more.
I've got full respect for Celtic
No, you
and
don't.
Rangers. They're in my top 10 list. That's enough respect.
Fine. We'll absolutely take it. Well, get yourself up the road. Thank you for being with us today, Ben Foster.
Thanks,
It's been fun. There's
Thank
been
you.
lovely feedback on you as well. We're back tomorrow with Steve Bruce, and don't worry, White and Jordan are back as normal Monday next week here on talkSPORT alongside Martin Keown. That'll be a great show. Coming up for you next, though, the duo you never knew you needed in your life. Max and Charlie are on the way next. Enjoy the eclipse. See you tomorrow. Bye.
History is going to repeat itself. No, I never go out on a limb and talk like this about Chelsea. I said Arsenal win the title for the last 3 seasons, and eventually they did. I'm going Chelsea. You Gooners, you should be fearful of Chelsea.
This is it, you see. He's been down the Wimpole clinic, and all of a
What has
sudden,
he been eating in the Maldives? That's what I want to know.
I don't think it's that.
Now,
Don't
what
get me
is he-
wrong.
what has he been smoking?
Ah, do you know what it is?
He's talking absolute guff.
It's everything, no, Jay. It's everything combined.
Everything about him I hate already.
This is
His hair, his tan.
His hair. Yeah, no,
like, the nonsense he's coming out with early doors. Like, he's been back for one show, and he's come back and said Chelsea are going to win the title.
Yeah, people go away. Right, I think people,
come
as
out
soon
and
as you
say
put
that?
a bit of hair back on someone's head, and look, let's be fair, that is a beautiful transplant, right? It's up there.
There's
you know when you think
good
about footballers
signs.
that have had transplants?
Do you know what, mate? I've seen signs.
It's good, isn't it?
It's all right.
It's a good transplant.
It's not bad.
And
been died.
I think he's now. Yeah, he's definitely.
He's definitely died.
Definitely died.
Yeah, he's definitely
died. Of course he has. But he's now just like a new man. He's got this sort of housewife's favourite thing going on. He knows that his sex appeal's back. He knows. I can tell. You know, he's sitting there. He's obviously been in the gym when he's been in the Maldives. He's got himself a bit of colour. He's got the beautiful barnet now.
Bit of a dilf.
This is it. Yeah. And then I was talking about him being the housewife's favourite, and he said something like this. Do you know what he said to me? He went, the problem is, if you are the housewife's favourite, it's generally the older girls. You know, you don't really necessarily want the old. I went, you happy to be the old? Do you like the older girls? He went, no, not really.